Yo, what's going on, people? WrestlePalooza Live, hosted by myself, Phil Lindsay, and Lyric joining us again. Huge weekend. I think you could make a good argument that this is the second biggest weekend of the year. You can maybe put this ahead of SummerSlam, because this is such a big weekend for WWE. The ESPN launch, obviously AEW All Out as well. And for me, I guess as just a wrestling fan who follows both companies, follows as much wrestling as I can, I'm happy about it, you know? But yeah, AEW All Out, Wrestle Palooza, Arena Mexico's got a huge show on, I think, tonight. So yeah, we're going to be here for like 90 minutes, maybe more. We always go over a few things to throw around, and of course you guys get involved, send your super chats. It's helped support the channel, it gets you guys involved with the show, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. But yeah, man, we're here. Lyric, I'll throw it to you first. What's going on? Don't forget to unmute.
Hi. I can't say that it's as big for me as it is for you. I'll only be watching one show, but it's going to be a
What about Arena Mexico?
Oh, well, that's tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge show.
It is a huge show. I will be watching 92 Anniversario tonight. That's going to be a ton of fun, really great card. Even though it still seems like some people are missing off of it. There's no Mascara Dorado on it, no Blue Panther on it, no Volador Jr. A couple people, but maybe they'll pop up eventually. Who knows? But very excited for the anniversary show tonight.
Yeah, man. And of course, AEW All Out. It's always a big one, you know. Toronto. Cope and Cage. Cope and Cage in Toronto. Cage and Cope. My bad. But, yeah, man. The big shows all around, man.
Sure.
But yeah, Wrestle Palooza, AEW All Out, Arena Mexico, you know, all those things. I'd say it's definitely a big weekend. Going head to head, WWE deciding to go head to head with the date with AEW All Out. AEW, of course, I think did the smart thing, just in the time. But yeah, All Out main event may go head to head with Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, which is apparently, reportedly opening Wrestle Palooza. So I think with how the times cross over, I think it could be that could be the situation we're looking at, people. You know, and that would be, you know,
I mean,
part in the tide kind of thing. You know, like
if you're gonna give me the choice of Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher or another Brock match in 2025, I know what I'm picking. So yeah, just.
So like I said, we're gonna see where people's tastes fall if that is the situation, you know. Because I like seeing them, man. But come on, bro. You know, Hangman Fletcher is also a match that I'm kind of like I wanted them to do, you know. So
yeah,
man. Like I said, that'll be interesting to see if that is the case when those two matches, when and if those matches go head to head, man. But yeah, apparently reports are saying that WWE doesn't plan to go head to head again with AEW this year. Their calendar's kind of locked in for the rest of the year, so potentially no more of kind of what led to this Saturday. You know,
What do they have left? They just have Survivor Series and another Saudi show, right?
They're doing another Saturday night main event with Cena.
Yeah, there's another Saturday night main event.
And then what else they got going on? But whatever it is that they've got booked in, whether it's just SmackDowns, apparently they're locked in for the year. They're not going to be dropping a Wrestle Palooza against fucking, I don't know, World's End or whatever the fuck. So yeah, man. So apparently that's not going to happen again this year. Can't speak for 2026 though. But yeah, it's a WWE launch on ESPN, so they've stacked their show up for better and for definitely worse in the case of Brock Lesnar. Um, and AEW obviously always load up their pay-per-views, man, to the best of their ability. No Ospreay though, no Swerve, no Kenny, still no Orange Cassidy for the minute. But the roster's so strong that they can still put together like a really strong, good pay-per-view with good matches on it. And still loads of good wrestlers are missing out on All Out, bro. Like, is Samoa Joe on the card yet? Willow's not on the card yet, I don't think. What are the rest of the Death Riders doing? Kyle and Roddy, what are they doing? So there's loads of really, really strong talent that could have been on this card, and even with the injuries, still can't find a place for them. So yeah, man. How are you feeling about how are we feeling about the AEW All Out card, Phil?
It's a strong card. I think they put together as good of a card as they could for this weekend. Obviously, they were going to have a hard time going head to head with like some of the bigger news stories coming out of Wrestle Palooza, and I think that's why it's probably the right move to move it. I don't necessarily believe it has anything to do with which is going to be a better show because they're banking on it's AJ Lee's in-ring return, and they even threw a Cody match on there at the last minute, so they're not. I mean, it's just trying to get like the biggest stories and the most coverage out of the show.
Yeah, the AJ Lee edition. So like I said, for better and for worse, man. For better would be like getting AJ Lee back after 10 years. So many people are so happy to see that. It's cool to do such a high-profile mixed tag match, The assumption is that will main event as well with Brock and Cena opening. Maybe Cody and Drew main events, but I don't know, man. But that's cool. Then, like I said, and then the worst of it is obviously it's like the Brock thing, and it's like, bro, the Brock thing hasn't done anything for anybody really, has it? Like since he's came back, it's just
he's been on TV like twice.
Bro, that segment last Friday was straight up wrestle crap, bro. With R-Truth, that was horrible. Yeah, that was horrible, bro.
We've just completely moved on from Ron Truth coming back. Sorry, Ron Truth. Ron Killing's coming back as a serious character. He's back to just being a joke character again. Like none of that happened. Just
bro, an absolute lyric. I'm assuming you definitely didn't watch this, but if I say to you, but just hear me out. Let me know. If I say to you, lyric, there was a Brock Lesnar live mic segment that was interrupted by R-Truth, and they went back and forth.
What?
And then Brock F5'd him or whatever. You see how bad that sounds? You see how bad that sounds to your innocent ears?
I can't.
It was so much worse than what you're even imagining right now. Like, it was horrible, bro. It was bad. I don't know. I don't know.
It was so bad.
I don't know why they did it, but they did it.
Yeah.
All right, it was horrible, bro. That was horrible. That was some of the worst shit I've seen this year. I swear to God. But yeah, man, that's what they were doing. A lot of people, obviously, even the people that are trying to lean on the, I guess, leaning on some sort of optimism with this program, was like, Brock obviously on Friday is going to come out and explain what his beef is with Cena.
Nope.
And they did that shit instead, and it was just like, bro, what is going on here, man? Like, who is booking this crap, bro? Like, I don't know, man. Terrible stuff going on, man. Terrible stuff going on over there, I have to say.
I hate to say I told you so, but whoop, there it is.
This is what I gotta live with, man.
Yeah. SmackDown's not a great show. It's just
I don't think I've watched SmackDown since like the Sammy Uso days. Like that was I got off.
That's probably the last time it was good, bro.
Like before Elimination Chamber in Montreal, that was like that was it for me. That was when I got off the train. And like when Bianca lost the Raw Women's Championship, I was done, like completely. I was still watching pay-per-views after that, but like after I was done. Like, no.
Yeah, you haven't missed much on that SmackDown show, man. So also, I think going back there, it's probably the last time it was even good, man. Like, my memory's cooked, but even then, though, if I remember correctly, it's like it wasn't even like the actual show was
No, it
great.
was
It was just
terrible
anchored and carried by like Sammy and the Bloodline. You know,
until we got to the bloodline set. It was like pulling teeth. Like before we got to those like bloodline segments, it was bad. Like it was already bad, but at least you knew you had that segment to look forward to.
So yeah, they've been doing wrestle crap over there on SmackDown. You know, that's kind of what they do. That's the brand. That's the Road Dogg brand. You know, that's the Road Dogg writing style over there.
Road Dogg and Big 2025. Wow, industry leader.
Nasty business, man. But like I said, we've got two kind of loaded, stacked up cards this weekend. We will start with AEW All Out because naturally. You know, just naturally. It's on first as well. Speaking of which, I believe Daniel Garcia versus Shibata is on 0 hour.
Yes.
It's on the 0 hour?
As well, the tailgate, whatever it's called, the tailgate pre-show that they're doing on Max.
So, like, is that going to be any different to a normal 0 hour? Like, what's the tailgate business mean?
So they'll be doing like the 0 hour, like the talk portion, like with Renee and the panel. That'll be on YouTube, I think. But then the tailgate portion, that's actually going to be streamed both live on TNT and it's also going to be streamed live on Max as well.
Okay.
So that's going to be big. So that Danny and Shibata is going to be Workhorsemen versus Hobbs and Joe. And then it's going to be the 8-woman tailgate brawl. So I think Willow, Aminata, Mina, and Harley versus Sky, Julia, Megan, and Penelope, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Penelope makes sense, of course.
Yeah, so that's all going to be on TV. So that's going to be streamed TV and Max.
Yeah, it kind of feels like because we're not getting Collision, they went with the 1 hour and then made Dynamite 3 hours. It's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah, but I think honestly though, that's televising 0 hour. It's a really cool concept. Like I hope it really goes well for them too. So like it makes it a big deal. So like a lot of times it feels like whatever happens on 0 hour, it's not exactly like canon to whatever happens in the show, but like this like I think it's going to be big. At least I think the tailgate brawl will probably have like some type of ramifications coming out of it. So,
yeah, it seems like a cool concept, really. The kind of double streaming, getting it on TV as well. Because like to me, over here in the UK, it makes zero difference to me. A lot of these deals make zero difference to me, bro. Like all the WWE stuff and the way that they're absolutely robbing their fans. You got to pay an extra $30 on ESPN now and all these things. It's like everything's just on Netflix in the UK. We get very lucky with that stuff. I guess kind of the same with AEW. I assume it's just going to be on YouTube, the whole thing, And yeah, man. But it does seem like a cool concept, because you guys in the States, you got to pay, you got to stream on all these different services. So it's just cool for them to just throw that on TV, you know what I'm saying?
We are getting robbed. Well, they are getting robbed blind by some of these wrestling companies. It's getting so nasty out here. I can't imagine. I'm already paying for so many different streaming services, like with like the foreign and international stuff too. Like domestic promotions acting like this, absolutely not. We're not doing that. Like we're not doing that. I can't.
Hey man, I hear it, man. People saying VPN, baby. Listen, I'm all for it, bro. You do your thing, Do what you gotta do in this day and age, bro.
Hey,
thriller on thriller.
Hey, listen. Even Stephanie was putting over VPNs on her podcast.
Hey man,
so,
that's it. That's it, bro. Like Stephanie, big Steph.
The biggest.
Steph's putting it out there, bro. You must be okay. WWE must be cool with it, isn't it? So, do what you gotta do, people. That's all I'm saying, innit? Do what you gotta do, people. And if a VPN wants to sponsor Wrestle Furies, get at me. But anyway, before we actually fully dive into the actual Garcia, Shibata, the rest of the kind of the pre-show, and do a little quick all-out preview or kind of what we're most looking forward to, what any hot takes, anything like that. We'll do a couple super chats. If you guys want to send any more whilst we're doing this, we'll get to them later. But let's get through these first few first. Ryan Sully, $50 Canadian. Massively appreciate you, brother. Always supporting, and we do notice it, so massively appreciate you. Woo, isn't pro wrestling just the greatest thing ever? Question for all three of you. What matches are you looking forward to watching this weekend, since it's such a big weekend for pro wrestling? Keep up the great work, Phil, Lyric, and Montel. Appreciate you massively, Brian, yet again. And Phil, what's top of your list for the weekend, bro?
I think Stephanie versus EO is going to be really good. Looking forward to that one. And on the AEW side, of course, looking forward to what I assume is the main event, Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher. I think if anything else, I think the tag triple threat should be good as well.
Yeah, man. I think there'll be a lot of good matches across both shows, you know. But obviously, what we're doing here, trying to pick out a standout one, it's a bit more difficult. Lyric, what are you going for? What are your like top 2 or 3 most anticipated matchups of the weekend?
Yeah, I think that both world title matches for AEW are really intriguing. Both the women's 4-way and then the Hangman Fletcher. I'm really excited about those, and I don't know. Like I'm really looking forward to this entire card for the most part. But I would have to say the ladder match is stacked. Like that team lineup for that. And I don't really like ladder matches very much at this point, and I'm really praying that everything goes like the plan. But like the teams that they have in this ladder match, it's going to be nuts. Yeah. I'm really excited about that match. And Eddie Kingston coming back. Like I'm not even sure if I'm really like through the mood for like the actual match, but it's just Eddie Kingston being back
in the flesh.
It's more than enough for me.
Hey man, I hear it. Dave, I think, it might have been Dave I heard this, but it made a lot of sense. He was like, I do think, because like, we seen that report, and he was like, don't want to drum up some more hype by announcing the Eddie match, and he was like, bro, just throw him on TV, let him cut a promo, man. You know? That's what Eddie does. That's what we want to see Eddie like do. Do you know what I mean? Hype up a promo and make us want to see him fight whoever it is. Like Eddie's good at building up a fight, you know, them ones. So, and with the way that they've gone in terms of like how they've framed, how like Big Bill's been calling him out, I think it would have been very appropriate to just have Eddie come on TV, do an angle, cut a promo or something. But yeah, we'll see. But what I'll say is, the match I think one at least in my top 2 that I'm most looking forward to, and I think people are kind of sleeping on it. I think one person mentioned it in the chat. Mox and Darby, bro.
Yeah.
I am locked in for Mox and Darby, and I think, like I said, I think it's kind of gone a little bit under some people's radars. Like, of course, everyone knows it's happening and stuff, but it's just this is big, bro. Like when you think of like the Death Riders storyline, you know, and how they've been telling that, like, this is one of the biggest matches they've told in that story. You know, you could argue it's only second, or you could even maybe argue it against the Hangman match, you know, because if we're just talking strictly the Death Riders story, you know, obviously Hangman, the title implications makes that very big, but yeah, this is a huge story. This is a huge match in that storyline. The Mox and Darby, we know what them two can do, and they're having a coffin match as well, and it's just like, I don't even want to know what kind of sick, twisted shit fucking Brian made Darby promise him. Because we know Brian's low-key a weird guy, you know? So
I will say I am very pumped about that match, but like for very like psychotic reasons. Like I feel like AEW has been really skimping on like the blood and gore recently. But whenever they start doing that, especially on TV, because I was expecting more like during the Philadelphia residency, but whenever they start doing that, that means that something, I mean, absolutely filthy, disgusting is about to happen at All Out. And All Out last year was so freaked out. And I was there, And like when I say every single match was so freaked out, like I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of bloodlust right now. Like I need to see somebody like die. Almost like not kayfabe die. But yeah, I do need all of that. All of it.
Yeah, man. I think we know what these two are about as well, man. Like Mox is sick, you know. Like Mox is a sick guy, and Darby's just, you know. But we got any guesses on what this promise is that Brian made Darby promise him for him to promise to not get involved with his match? Like any sort of clues or anything at all, like anything, you know? Or we just, like I said, Brian's a weird dude, bro. Like we don't know what he's on, so.
I feel like Brian had his fingers crossed behind his back when Darby told him not to get involved. Like that ring is calling out to him like the Green Goblin. He can't help it. It's in his face. Like it's calling out to him. He misses it so bad. That brother is starving.
Yeah. I kind of think Darby's gonna lose. And I think that if he whispered anything, he's like, okay, but if Dan Garcia gets involved, I cannot make any promises.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because like he has been like increasingly, I would say, disturbed by like he said it on September to Remember. He was like, I've given up on Wheeler Yuta as the future of professional wrestling. I've completely given up on Yuta, but Daniel Garcia, I have hope. I can't believe they did this to my sweet, precious baby boy. So.
Hey man, I hear it. Still got. You can still see the light in it, man. There's still something there. But yeah, man. I appreciate you, Brian. Yeah, Danny, $5. Appreciate you as always. Happy Andrade returns to Wrestling Day. Come on, man. Bold prediction for All Out. Chris Statlander joining the Death Riders is a red herring, and it's actually going to be Jamie.
I think that could happen. I just think like something needs to happen, and we'll probably get into it later. But I do think like this is a very, very crucial pay-per-view for the women's division of where does everybody not named Tony and Mercedes go forward from here.
Yeah, I can fuck with that. But yeah, like you said, we'll definitely get into that. We'll kind of unpack that in a little bit. Chi-Town Spurs, $5. Really looking forward to Saturday. All Out, obviously, but a huge match on ESPN. Can South Carolina bounce back and defeat a really solid Mizzou?
Thank you for asking the real questions. As a tried and true alumna of the South Carolina Gamecocks, the University of South Carolina, listen, last week was a fluke. We're coming back, baby. I can't believe they dropped us out of the rankings for one teeny-weeny loss after winning our first two games, but don't worry about it. Mizzou, the Mayor's Cup, is coming right back home to Columbia, South Carolina. Tell everybody, tell your friends. We will be tuned in to ESPN and ESPN only for South Carolina versus Mizzou. Go Cox. Spurs up, baby. Woo!
You're keeping it with the football. Johnny Burney 199. Phil, 1 to 10. How much do you hate football right now? Lol, Bears.
Well, that would imply that I got excited for this season. I was not going to be fooled. I've been a Bears fan for a very long time. My dad did the same thing he does every year. He got very optimistic with Ben Johnson coming in, and I was like, we'll see. After that first game, I was like, nope. Not going to keep me again. I turned on the game Sunday, which after the fight, why did that fight come on so late? I'm too old. Like, what's going on?
I hear that, bro.
What's going on? So,
especially for me over here, like, I can get used to those US times, but even that was pushing it, man.
Yeah, so I stayed up to watch that fight, and then I got up the next day, turned on the game. First thing I see flying across my screen, touchdown. As soon as I turned it on, I was like, I don't need to watch the rest of this. I fear the Bears are going to be who they always are. I'm not really upset about it. I just it's a miserable experience being a Bears fan.
I can imagine. I need to pick an NFL team, man. Anyway, Black Swan, $2.79 Canadian, Elite Stream lineup today. Appreciate you as always. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll read some more super chats if we get any towards later in the show. But yeah, let's dive into it, man. AEW All Out. Danny Garcia, Shibata on the tailgate pre-show thing. But yeah, man, Danny's obviously just turned heel, and joined the Death Riders, as we just kind of touched on. Bryan Danielson seems genuinely hurt by this. Like it's touched him, like it's hurt him, man. And we can sympathize with that, man. I didn't want Daniel to turn heel either. I'm open to it as a creative decision, but I didn't want it to happen. This, of course, is a match that I think he would have to win. Of course, just turned heel. Shibata doesn't need wins for any reason, really. Even though I do think if we're talking big picture, the conversation about Shibata is very interesting, but we'll leave that for another day. But yeah, I think Garcia gets the win here, and I really do hope it's as good as it can be, because I've had pretty decent matches before, haven't they? So yeah, man, how are we feeling about this being kind of like the first movement post heel turn, Lyric?
I do think it's a really good match for him. I think him and Shibata have great chemistry, both as opponents and as partners. Yeah, I think like this is a really good move. I mean, like I said, there's a bigger conversation about Shibata here. Listen, man, like I think he can do a lot more. Probably not, but where can he do a lot more? I think is probably a bigger question. Like I'm not going to say like he should be like a top guy in like in television wrestling. But yeah, I think this is really good. It's going to be a great match. And I'm actually really grateful that Shibata got the singles match here too, because like Samoa Joe and Hobbs are working the Workhorsemen on the show. So hey, I'll take it.
Hey man, how you feeling, Phil? How you feeling about the Garcia heel turn and this being the first movement as well?
I'm here for it so far. I think Shibata makes a lot of sense as a guy that he can work his way back through some matches as a heel. I have to assume we're eventually getting the Nigel match. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully, yeah.
Maybe it's a story of him like working through his heroes, like
yeah.
Thing. Yeah, so I think it's probably going to start that like the story of him essentially, kind of killing some of his heroes, which I'm not against.
I love shit like that when there's like a through theme with certain opponents. Obviously the obvious one would be like Randy Orton, Legend Killer, or however you want to do it. Or when Bryan ran through the fucking Dark Order, like that popped me, when he kicked Colt Cabana's teeth out. I love that shit, man.
Is that one benefit of Danny being partnered with like so many of these legends and like so many of these older vets throughout his career is like there's a lot of story to like there's a lot of guys that people really do this with. Yeah, so I think like it could be really depending on where this goes, and like Bryan says he's not going to get back in the ring, sure, but I mean it has to like some way, some form, some fashion. Like I saw in the chat, somebody said Danny and Mox versus Nigel Bryan. Like, come on, like, come on, man. Like, I think we have to get something out of this. Like, I don't think any of these things happening are coincidences. With like this Death Rider story. So I'm all for it. I think like so far so good with Danny and the Death Riders.
Yeah, man. Give me that tag match, bro. Now that you've said it in the chat. I'd be, yeah. That's pay-per-view, of course. That's big business to me in my household, But yeah, man. Garcia, Shibata. I think we're all expecting Garcia to get the win here, but in a nice, solid match on the pre-show. What else we got then? The women's 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl. That will be. I think that could be a lot of fun, man. We got Willow, Mina, Harley, Queen Aminata, Megan, Penelope, Julia, Sky. Yeah, man, that should be a good time. That should be a good time. I wonder if they do an angle coming out of it, 'cause since you got all these women involved in it, you might as well. Um, but yeah, tornado, tailgate, brawl, see how that plays out. You know.
I think.
Anything you go on, Lyra.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just think it needs to be distinct, like whatever is gonna
Yeah.
happen. We've seen a lot of all-star tags, and I think the difference between the all-star tags on the men's side is that they typically are advancing something, and we get
Yeah.
like a
Right.
almost immediate payoff. And rather on the women's side, these all-star tags seem more like a holding pattern. And like I said, like between this as well as the women's four-way specifically, like something substantial has to happen coming out of All Out of, especially if Tony ends up retaining, because that means that Mercedes is, almost certainly going to like beat her. We can't keep justifying half of the roster, just not half, 85% of the roster sitting around like with nothing substantial to do. Like that, I don't think anybody can really justify that at this point. And so, is this going to set up blood and guts? Announce it. Is this going to set up titles? Announce it. Like I think, like you got to really shut off or get off the pot right now. Like with this division, like you have the numbers, you have the talent. It's so stacked. Like I have no doubt that the women are going to deliver because they always do. Like I have no doubt about that, especially when it comes to hardcore matches. Like AEW women do not miss. Like when it comes to stuff like that, but I think something substantial does need to happen quickly.
The women, the women do. They never miss. Like when they're given like a real opportunity or a spot on the card, they literally never miss. Even going back to the days of fucking Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, bro. Like, say what we want about Britt Baker and how great or how not great she is in ring or whatever it is or why she is or isn't on TV, but it's like even back then, when those women are given an opportunity, they will go out there and more than show why they earned that opportunity. Even back to when they were doing like the hardcore tag match with like the Bunny and TJ and like that was, do you know, even like those sort of matches, like every single time they get a real opportunity to prove something and really do something, they do it every time. I can't think of one off time where it's like, the women main evented Dynamite and stunk it up, or the women got 30 minutes and stunk. Well, they've never got 30 minutes, but you know what I mean. They've got given a big angle or whatever and stunk it up. I don't think it's ever happened unless someone can point it out in the chat, but I don't think it's ever happened in AEW, bro.
No, it hasn't, and I think especially even when the division wasn't as technically sound, it wasn't as like bar for bar, wrestling sound. When it came to like hardcore steps and like the deathmatch style, they always rose to the occasion, whether it was Anna Jay or Britt Baker or anybody, And so like, I think like at this point, and if something doesn't end up happening, somebody in that media scrum should definitely like bring it up tomorrow, because it's getting ridiculous. I've got an all-star tagged out if it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I hear you. Phil, you got anything you want to add about the women's tailgate tornado brawl thing?
No, not really. I think it's probably going to be a solid match, but yeah, they have to at this point because people keep speculating about where is this going. They got to give us something. If it's not a blood and guts match, or it's not announcement for tag belt or something, like I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm with you both. What else we got? We got Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs of the Ops versus the Workhorsemen, JD Drake and Anthony Henry. This will be a very professional bit of business, you get me? But you think we get like a hook angle or something out of this?
Maybe.
It seems like he's cooking something. I don't know what, but he's cooking something.
I think like this is honestly just a little bit of honor farming before the end of the show.
That's fine.
Samoa Joe, wave to the people, flex in front of him real quick.
Yeah, man.
It's so crazy because like even though he's not like in like the world champion tier anymore, if you like analyze this year of AEW and everybody like the pops that they get, Samoa Joe is still like at the very top. Like when he's on screen, people lose their mind, and he doesn't really have to do anything. I think that's the thing about like the ops. Period. They just look cool. They aura farm with their entrance. They beat people up. They leave. It's really great. Everybody can't do it. Everybody's not built like that.
Yeah, man. Samoa Joe's always just like he's got such kind of so much credit in the bank over the years. He's so good as a performer. He's so kind of adored by WWE and AEW fans wherever he is. TNA, he's adored by fans wherever he is. He's always you can always heat him up and put a world title on him. Truly. Even now, you know what I'm saying. And he's how old is Joe now? Like he's in his mid-40s, easy.
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah, man, you can always just heat up a Samoa Joe and throw a title on him, man. You can do that. So yeah, man. Yeah, Phil, you got anything? You think Hook? We get anything from Hook here, or anything you want to
add? I don't think so. Because I mean, what are we gonna move forward with the Workhorsemen with Hook? Nah, I doubt it.
No, maybe he lands with like a whole new group and takes out everyone. I don't know. I don't know.
To be fair, I do think that isn't this the first time that the Workhorsemen are teaming together in a while? Because I know,
Henry was injured for a while, wasn't
he? Yeah. So I think what was it? JD Drake teamed with Adam Priest. So I'm not sure if that means anything. Maybe it doesn't. But you know, who knows? I can't. I'm gonna be honest. I would be lying if I said I particularly cared about Hook in 2025. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
hear it, man.
I would be lying if I said that I particularly cared. I think that Hobbs going into the ops was the greatest upgrade I've ever seen since like Swerve upgrade
perfect fit,
mobile affiliates. So I don't know what else to leave.
Yeah, perfect fit. I think with what I would say about Hook in the ops is that Samoa Joe and Hook had such a cool dynamic.
Yeah,
you know, like they just work together on screen, whether it's in the ring or just on screen. So there was that, but yeah, I hear you, man. But like we were saying, I think before we went live, man, people are getting thrown a bone this year in AEW, man. You know, so
sink or swim, whatever. I will say, I do think like a lot of those OG talents, everybody is getting thrown a bone. What you do with it is your business. But I think everybody is getting opportunity, so you know I do respect that.
Yeah, man, I'm with it. I'm willing to give Hook another shot, man. See what they got cooking for him. I'm always open-minded with this shit.
So
even if it suggests I shouldn't be, you know.
Like what is the story? Is that he's starting his own stable? Like where are we going with this?
Maybe.
I
don't know. What was the wording in that like pre-tape that he did when he's like sat by the fight? He said something.
I gotta go my own way, or maybe not. And so, I'm not saying that I dislike Hook. I'm more so apathetic than anything. Like I just don't know what to think. Like I'm kind of just. It's not even like I think this guy sucks. Get him off the screen. I just don't know what to do with him. Like I genuinely. Yeah. I think that's kind of like where it is of I don't know where to place him because like no, it doesn't make sense really for him to go back to the ops. I don't know, you know. So it's just kind of I don't know, but maybe we will know. So
you're not trying to get Hook Goon.
What?
You're not trying to get like his version of like a bunch of like heels and techers behind them.
I don't know. Maybe Lyric is, you know.
I don't think she is.
Maybe it's her kind of thing, you know. Listen, like I said, it's like the Jack Perry thing, bro. Like it looks like he's gonna be coming back at some point this year with the BT.
Now that intrigues me.
So I'm saying, like,
they do.
It's not really for me, but I'll give it a shot in it. Like,
listen, Jack Perry sat in his little workshop like Santa Claus and tinkered away and created a handcrafted blade and sent it via FedEx to Matt Jackson to be opened on BTE. Unfortunately, this is the type of melodrama that I live for. Okay, it's the same blade. I'm into it. Okay, I'm into it. I just need him. He will have to do a flip though. I will say, you will have to do flips again. Scapegoat attitude Jungle Boy offense.
Hey man,
it's hard because the Jungle Boy offense is so babyface though.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Well, you saw how Ricochet learned how to do a flip and stay a heel. Do that. I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know. I just.
Listen, the Bucks made a career off it, man. You know,
I don't know what else to tell you. So you better learn how to.
Listen, man. I don't know. At this point, there's only one knife pervert that I want to see on my screen, and it's not Jack Perry. I'm sorry.
Hey, man.
Everything's not, you know when I realized everything is not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. I'm kind of moved by a mature Jurassic Express. You know, I'm not going to. Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks and Big 2025 moves me. It does. You can't tell me that wouldn't slap. You can't.
Sure, of course it would. I've been saying this whole time, like, man, just get back to Jungle Jack. We can forget that goat stuff ever happened, man. Listen, listen, bro. Cut Tarzan Boy back on. Like, get the band back together. It's time.
That's exactly what I've been saying, bro. Like, probably till I've been blue in the face. If you listen to the streams I've been on, it's like every single time I've been like, yo. If Jack Perry just came back as Jungle Boy and just forgot everything that happened, like I'm cool with that. Like I am cool with that.
2 years.
Yeah, just forget it happened, bro. Just seeing his heel turn, just forget that it happened.
Exactly. Just show back up with the. Come on, man.
I will say,
it's been long enough.
I'm still really upset. Like they never. I think that they should have. Tony should have licensed the 90210's theme song when he turned heel. Like really leaned into it. But you know, hey man, we don't all have the same priorities, and I think that that's okay. But I do think like there were a lot of great elements of like the Jack Perry heel turn, and I think like at least like he as a character, especially like as a talker, not all the time, but and a lot of times he really found his voice, and I think like there has to be a way to meld those elements together. I think Tony is a really good example, like too, of just like somebody who in trying to find her character, she was a terrible wrestler for a bit, and then like eventually she was able to like, hey, let me wrestle like the rock star, but talk like Timeless and put it all together. And so I think like there has to be some type of middle ground as well for Jack Perry. So I don't think, and here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest, like there is no forget it ever happened. Like, you know, every time he goes to Chicago, every time, like, you know, I think like you have to embrace those things, right? I think the Elite did a really good job of that for themselves, of like, you know, you embrace it, you move on. And
they always have though, ain't they? Like that's like I was just saying earlier about the Bucks, like do a flip and still be a heel. It's like that's their career, bro. Like that's that's just what they do. So obviously it's a lot more natural to them. And Jack Perry's still, I guess, as we've been talking about, kind of like finding himself and that, innit? So
yeah, get your dinosaur back. You know what? I would even love you know what? This might be like super marky me. I don't care. I would like a brief Marco Stunt cameo. You know, really pop. Listen,
I want to be mad at you.
Marco Stunt and Jack Perry had one of the best 5-minute matches of last year, and that's a fact.
That's what you're trying to see. You're trying to see Jack come back out, Marco behind him doing the floss. Like that's what's up.
The floss, you know. It's raw what he's on.
Okay, so y'all not into it?
Nah, I like Marco, man. I
think, and also too, flipping it, redoing because I think the Jack Perry Daniel Garcia stuff even had a lot of potential. I think if you flip the dynamics back with Jack as a face and Daniel as a heel, I think it would go much better. I think it would go so much, because think about like what he was telling him. They used to dance for me too, of just like there's so much. There's a lot to do. Like stop playing with him. Like, you know, he's not over. He's just not complete. He's not a lost cause like somebody like Sammy.
No, he's definitely not a lost cause. He's
Sammy's
talented.
Strays.
I don't think Sammy's a lost cause either, man. I don't think Sammy's a lost cause either. Talented guy, he can go. There's a place for him, and he's held it down for nearly 6 years already. So Sammy, obviously to different degrees, but you know,
Sammy should wrestle under a mask for 2 years. I'm so serious.
Listen, that could be gas. That could be gas, like full.
And I don't mean that as an insult. Like, I don't mean that as an insult. I think especially now with like luchadors getting, unless you, no, I'm not going to say that. That was going to be really nasty. But especially now, think about it. Sammy Guevara's offense under a mask. If you didn't know it was Sammy, you would think like he's like the most talented.
But you would know it was Sammy though, because Sammy's offense is quite distinguishable.
Yeah.
In a good way though. In a good way. Like Sammy's in ring isn't really something. He's not my favorite, but it's not really something I've ever like used against him. Like
we gotta get him in a suit. Yeah. We gotta get him in a mask and a suit, like something really cool. Like just something really cool packaging. Like really cool. El Clone. I will say, if they didn't already have the guy, it would have been a cool angle for him to be the evil hologram, though. That would have been a cool angle, but clearly, like that's already like planned away. But still.
Yeah, they've already got the. I can't. Who did the?
Who
is it again?
Aries, yeah.
All right, man. Let's start with the women's title four-way. Let's unpack this, Lyric and Phil. Let's unpack this. The directions of the women's division. Who could win this? Who should win this? Who is it too early to win this match? Of course, Toni Storm would be the safe option here. Toni Storm is arguably the biggest star in the company. She is on a roll. Her heat is not dying down at all. But there is sections of the AEW fan base that thinks that it is time to create a new star or put the jetpack on somebody else or let somebody else have the baton of the top woman in AEW's women's division. But obviously on the flip side of that is that Toni is just a force of nature. It's not like she's slowing down. It's like, so that's kind of like the two sides of the coin, isn't it? It's like, I get some people want something new that's natural, that's wrestling fans, but it's at the same time, it's like this Toni run is like generational. So it's like, it's just like you get what you can out of it, you know? But of course, Toni has, taken up a lot of the time of the AEW's women's title since she's been in the company, really. Even before she was timeless, she was like a 2-3 time champion, so. But yeah, Toni's absolutely kidding me. I love her. I think she's great. But I can also see where people are coming from with saying Stat or maybe do a shock with Thekla or even Jamie. Like, she needs something. So it's like we can reinvigorate Jamie by just doing this shock title win here or something. Somebody suggested earlier that maybe it's Jamie joining the Death Riders, not Statlander, and that could be a vehicle to get the title on one of them. So it's like there's a lot of different things going on here. As Lyric, of course, we started to unpack earlier about like this will be big, and of course the pre-show match about like where the division's actually going forward, because we've got 4 women in this match, and in the other match we've got 8 women. That's basically we've got like 90% of the women's division, in these 2 matches. So it's like this is big. But I guess we'll start with just straight up. Who is your money on, Phil Lindsay?
I think Timeless Toni Storm is going to retain here, guys. Just given also like from the countdown episode, that package they aired was phenomenal. And that just shows just like what it is that Toni still gives you as champion. Like the way they can still promote around her is still there. I just think the way that they put that package together and they gave each woman a distinct identity, and it still felt like a very Toni Storm video package at the same time. Incredibly well done. I would like to see someone else get a big win here, but I don't want them to do a cop out in a fatal 4-way and just go, oh, well, Toni didn't have to get pinned, and that's how we get here. Please don't do that. Give someone the visual pin over Toni Storm. I think if you're going to do it, I would prefer it in a one-on-one match at this point. But yeah, I don't think that Toni's going to lose.
Who would you like to see be that person beat Toni then? Who out of the 3 women in this match? If you had to pick.
I think Statlander's out of these 4 is Statlander.
Would you go with the heel turn as well with the Death Riders thing? Or would you just have Stat win the match?
It's tough because if she does win and doesn't turn, it's like, who is there left for her to wrestle? right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I feel a heel is going to eventually beat Tony, because there's so many baby faces, but like if you don't turn her, like, I don't, who is there for her to really wrestle at this point?
Yeah, you would have to do a lot of maneuvering and shit. Yeah. So, all right, Lyric. Who is your money on to win this match?
I think Tony's the safe option.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the safe option, honestly. Just to be yeah.
Okay, and who would you like to see win this, and how would you like to see them win it?
I would go with Chris Statlander. This is such a tricky thing because, like, I agree with like most of the points that Phil said of like, ideally you wouldn't want this to be in a 4-way, like, Tony finally losing the championship. But I do think that it also allows an opportunity to do something really shocking. And I do think like that's something that this women's division lacks so much of, just like, really big shockers. I think you have Tony, Mercedes, even if you bring Ring of Honor into this too, Athena, like these 3 super dominant champions. And we've gotten to the point. Here's the thing. I love Tony Storm. I think that Tony is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Will Tony cease being the face of the women's division if she loses this title? No.
Oh, she'll be fine.
Will Tony cease being, one of the biggest stars in the company if she loses the title? No. But I think we do have to have a very realistic look at everybody else. Nothing else is happening for anybody else, not named Tony and Mercedes, to the point to where if things happen the way that they could happen, essentially, let's say Tony wins, Mercedes loses TBS title at Wrestle Dream, right? And then Tony versus Mercedes at Full Gear. Yeah, maybe they main event. Will people be into that? Like, I think there is a chance. I mean, you, yes, me, yes, but I do think like there is a real chance of people becoming resentful towards both of them because nothing else is happening to everybody else. Could this be avoided by other things happening, like blood and guts, tag titles, meaningful things? Absolutely, right? But until any of those things substantially happen, what it looks like on the surface is Tony and Mercedes get absolutely everything, and you have anywhere between 10 to 20 women doing nothing and having all-star tags on Collision every week.
Just filling time.
Absolutely, just filling time. And you'll see big additions to the roster come in. They'll come in, they'll do the gauntlet, they'll wrestle everybody. Here, they'll wrestle Tony, they'll wrestle Mercedes, they'll lose their big matches, and then they go right back down. We saw it with Megan Bain. It's a real potential that that's going to happen with Thekla too. We're seeing it. We saw it with Alex Windsor. We've seen it with all of these people, and it's hard to invest in people and believe. And with, like, has there been any investment to getting anybody else to their level, to Tony and Mercedes level? And I think that's a really valid question of just. And this is somebody who loves both of them.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to see the rest of the division too. Like, I think you want to see everybody else too. And like, we're not really doing non-title feuds, like that, right? Like, Thekla and Aminata got close and they only got 10 minutes, on, September to Remember. It was really more so to give Thekla more momentum. We haven't had a major women's title feud since last year's All Out with, Stat and Willow. And so, yeah, I think like it's really tricky. It's really tricky at this point too, of just, yeah.
Yes, it's tricky. It's a tricky one to navigate. I think if any people have, I don't know, like I've said before, but I do think they should move the world title to Mercedes, and have Mercedes drop the TBS title and kind of follow like what you initially say. It's like you have Mercedes drop at Wrestle Dream or something, and then you do the big match with Mercedes and Tony that could potentially even main event pay-per-view, and then you have Mercedes, a heel, like we were saying earlier, heel needs to beat Tony. Mercedes, you don't need to heat up or build up, and you can get the world title off Tony. He also frees up the TBS title from kind of almost being, I don't want to say handcuffed, because I get what Mercedes is doing and has already done with that belt, you know, so I don't want to say that, but it kind of like, it is tough, and the only two singles belts in the division are held by such big stars in comparison to everyone else, you know. So it's like, if you can make the TBS like an actual building block belt, do you know what I mean, like it's supposed to be, and something that people can use to elevate themselves up the card, then it's like, I think that kind of takes the at least some of the, I guess, resentment of the world title being tied up with, you know, the Mercedes Tony verse as it would be in this scenario. So yeah, I think then of course it's like, because of the TBS situation of how that affects kind of like the trickle down effect of how like the other women, it's hard for them. I guess AEW struggle with kind of figuring out how to place and give time to real stories and give the women something with depth outside of like, you know, all-star tags or whatever, you know. So I think, like I said, with the TBS title being freed up, it would help them kind of structure the division easier, you know. Then like you get the belt off Tony onto Mercedes, and it's like you can kind of look at, okay, what babyface, because there's an abundance of great baby faces in that division, of like which one of these are we picking to beat Mercedes, and that'll still be a huge thing, even though Mercedes has dropped the TBS to a Star or a fucking Decla or whoever, do you know what I mean? Because Mercedes can drop that TBS title, I think, to kind of like anybody, as long as it's somebody that can kind of benefit, even like a Decla, even though she's a heel, do you know what I mean? Even though she's a heel, but she's kind of someone that obviously Tony appreciates and likes a lot and would like to elevate. I think that could be a way of doing that. Or a Megan Bain, even though she's heel. And obviously we've already, like I said just now, like there's an abundance of good baby faces, so I think that's how I would tackle kind of the log jam awkwardness placement of the women in that division. Then of course, if you can add the tag titles or a women's blood and guts or something like that as well throughout the year, then I think you can really get things moving in a certain direction, instead of kind of being where we're at now, where things kind of just feel a bit like, what are the rest of the women doing outside of the Tony Mercedes verse? You know what I mean? Whereas, like, if we can kind of get the world title onto Mercedes in a smart enough and productive way, then you can kind of start to build things up properly, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at with that situation. You know?
I think the thing for me at this point, because at least with Tony, they're at least building stuff around Tony being champion. There's this long overarching story with Tony as champion.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, Mercedes has outgrown the TBS belt. And I mean, I understood the idea behind it when she first got there, because if you put the world title on her straight away, people were going to complain. Like, there's no getting around it. People were going to complain.
I wasn't against it, though.
me neither, but I know that people would have complained. And so I get it. I get the idea around it. I get also, you know, adding prestige to the TBS title by putting it on a bigger star. But at this point, like, there is no real mid card for the women, and I think it's because you spent so long with this belt on Mercedes, and they're probably gonna just try to keep it on her until she breaks Jade's record. But I just think it's time. I think it's time for somebody else to hold the belt.
I mean, here's the thing: I'm not worried about that anymore, just because she breaks it next pay-per-view. So, like, I think pay-per-view is perfect, like, you know, for her to lose it. I just think, like, we're at this point too, because there's no mid card. Mercedes has already beaten most of the critical people, you know, in the division, you know, for the most part. Like it, and the same thing, like Tony is now, after, if Tony comes out of this match, wins, she will have officially beaten every credible challenger in the division except for Willow. That's it. Like, that's it. And I mean, I don't think she's gonna lose that belt to Willow. So that's literally it at this point. Like, it's just deadlock. And here's the thing: I think a whole bunch of this entire conversation about like what would help, it all revolves around ifs. Like, it all revolves around if tag titles come, if Blood and Guts happens. But guess what? We started tag titles and Blood and Guts were rumored around Double or Nothing. We are what, 2-3 reviews later? Like, think about how long these people have sat in stasis. Like, you know, and like these are extremely talented women. And honestly, I think we're at the point where we can all admit AEW, the only time you're guaranteed TV time and stuff is if you have a title. And so think about everybody who doesn't have a title being shoved into like these segments of just, I don't know, Tony is phenomenal. Tony is phenomenal. I think Mercedes has been great at what she's doing, but who has this elevated anybody else? Has this significantly elevated anybody else? Has anybody come out of these feuds? I think the only person who can honestly say that was elevated through all this isn't even there anymore, which is Mariah. To be quite honest, I think the point of having your big stars holding championships is because it's supposed to lift everybody up. I think, for example, right now, right? Hangman and Fletcher. Fletcher's probably going to lose at this pay-per-view, but he's going to come out of this a much bigger star than he was before. Has that really happened throughout this Tony reign for anybody, not named Mariah?
I initially thought it did for Megan, but the issue is they put Megan over there in the All-Star tags and all these side quests, and it's like,
no,
you got to.
It did help Megan. It's just how they followed up on it.
Yeah, the follow-up wasn't great. But I do think the match itself and that actual feud did a lot for Megan. I just, like I said, I think more of the issue for me is that it feels like Mercedes just goes through the cycle of, okay, who's the next opponent? And there's not really a real feud. There's not really a real angle. It's just like, all right, let's get to the match, our next challenger. And then it just continues like that. And
on to the next one.
Yeah, I just
and the
think
next
you've got
country and the next show.
Yeah, I think and I mean, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, I haven't enjoyed Mercedes as TBS champion, but I just think it's time. I just think it's time to do something else with her.
I agree. I think out of the two reigns, although both have valid points of why they should drop in the near future, I think Mercedes' reign is a lot more tired than Tony's, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even I love Mercedes, and it's not like I'm saying Mercedes bad. I'm saying she should win the big one. Do you know what I want? And he plays into Mercedes and Tony's stories. Like I said from the start, when people were like, "Oh, Mercedes is going to beat Tony," when they first wrestled, I was like, "Nah." It's like, it's a better story if Tony's like, I guess, because even though she's not technically she's kind of like an AEW homegrown in it, do you know them ones? And it's like the idea of her on this monster run of beating Mercedes as well, that would be great for her, and it has been. And also for Mercedes, it's like, I can beat everybody and I can win all these titles worldwide and beat all these women and stuff, but that AEW world title, that's the one I have to really push through and try and win. That's the one that I fail a couple of times first, or even just once, you know. I mean, I won't even mind Mercedes beating her the next time, you know. But it's good for the bout, Tony winning that match against Mercedes. I thought so. But now I'm all in on Mercedes winning the big one, man. I think that's
But I
think that's the solution that kind of makes most sense, because if you don't want to, because of the way the division's been, because of how we've just spoke about and unpacked, it's hard to actually be like, this is the right person to beat Tony. Like, no one's hot enough, bro. And there's no heels, and fuck it, just do Mercedes, man. Easiest solution.
Yeah. I think the thing also is Mercedes doesn't need that belt to be on TV. Like, there's so many women I think would benefit from having the belt, and it would keep them on TV. Mercedes don't need that belt to be on TV.
I think that's my argument for both of them at this point too. Neither of these people, I know these are the only two women that I am 100% confident that Tony Khan will book and have featured on television prominently doing something meaningful, whether they have titles or not. These are the only two women that I think that any of us can say that for. And the thing is, you've signed so many people. You're still thinking about signing more people. You have all of this. You have a war chest of people, and not doing anything with the rest of them. Of just
sign Isla Dawn, sign everybody, sign Shayna Baszler, sign some more people.
I think
listen, we can say all that, but I'm signing Dakota Kai, bro. I'm sorry, I'm bringing her in. It just is what it is.
I hear all these points, and I would love to see world champion Mercedes too. I think world champion Tony is great. It's just like, the amount of people who are stuffed into these one segment every week, like it's just, I think there's a very real possibility that we're going to get on the other side of this, of the Mercedes world title reign, and we're going to be having the exact same discussion. Who's hot enough? Who's invested enough, right? Like, who's going to be hot enough to dethrone her? Who's going to be, because in pursuit of giving Tony and Mercedes these legacy runs, no one else has been afforded even, I think, a crumb to get the kind of where they are. And I think specifically for the homegrown talent, people have been around for a few years of, I don't know. I think that's an issue. Like, I think that's a major issue of, we're going to keep saying this. It's a very realistic, we're going to get to this point next year and say the exact same thing of, oh, nobody's ready. I mean, nobody's hot enough. Like,
legacy few months for the women's, Tony Khan's booking of the women's division, because I've obviously with us doing streams for like years at this point, is like having very similar conversations when it was Britt Baker's division. It's like Britt Baker gets all this time, but the rest of the women X, Y, and Z, whether it was me and Joe, whether it was me and Ibu having these conversations, and it was just like, do you think it would ever get to a point where like I think AEW did great business locking down Willow,
Yeah.
But when will it get to a point when a Willow or a Statlander thinks, fuck, man?
I think that is the type of conversation, like, I think more people need to be thinking about, of just like, yeah, you got Willow. I'm not sure what Statlander's contract status is, but you have to think Tony has been in the world title picture since she debuted in 2022. Like, she debuted in the Owen Hart Cup. She debuted in the Owen Hart Cup. She wins the title by the end of the year. She's essentially been in the world title picture since. Even there's right now, people are. You can even have an argument that Thekla is in line to win the title before, people who have been there, for a long time. I don't know. Like, I think, I think we'd all love to believe that like some of these people are lifers or anything, but when there is no upward mobility, and I think like that's a really valid question to ask of, if you've been in a company for 5 years, you're over with the crowds, you had some of the best matches, you've done everything you're supposed to do, but so many people, this new hire might come in and jump straight to the front of the line. That's exactly what happened with Mariah. And we saw how that went. Hey, at least here's the thing. The thing is with WWE is like, I'm not saying that their titles are booked perfectly, but it's like, what, 6 of them across, main roster and NXT? Like, there's tag belts. There's the NXT Women's Championship. You got 2 mid-card titles, and you have 2 main roster titles. Like, at least there's some breathing room, to go around. For
NXT, the women in the main division on NXT, bro.
There is. There's gonna be some real conversations about upward mobility quickly. Yeah. I think if we come out of 2025. And it's just the Tony Mercedes show, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Mercedes is going to drop the TBS title before the end of the
year. I do. I agree. I agree for sure. But
hold on. We have company people being raided.
What's going on?
But what is that T-shirt, bro?
Hey, man.
Yokozuna?
It's Yokozuna, one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers ever. What's going on? How is everyone?
Big Lex vibes, man.
Phil. How are you, Phil?
Happy to be joined by a big star like Joe Holbert, man.
I'm looking forward to the big stars showing up, but I'm happy to be here. Phil, when was the last time we did a show, dude? It's been a while, right?
Oh, man, I don't know. Good question.
Yeah, too long. But I hope everyone is well, and I'm just stopping by for a bit. Just a brief cameo. I'm here, there, and everywhere, but I was enjoying the conversation. It's good.
I popped really huge for you actually getting your Good Brothers picture. Very happy that happened. Very happy with all this.
He got pictures. He got content. He got everything, bro. He's the third good brother.
Oh, man. Big hoot over here, man.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It was a good time, and it's been a wild ride, dude. I actually was when I was backstage listening to you guys talk. I was thinking, I remember when Phil was like, I feel like we had you on maybe 2021 Distraction. I want to say Phil, and it's just crazy to think that is 4 years ago, dude.
That was right when we started Rhapsody. It was like the same time period.
Yeah, so it's cool just seeing everyone do their thing, and obviously you've done much cooler shit than I have, but I did get that photo with the Good Brothers, so it balances
Good shit, but
Those legends.
We got Hulbert in the building. People, he's gracious enough to pass through. You know, he's like I say, he's a big star now. You know, he's with the boys. He's one of the boys now.
Oh, Jesus, God, I hope not.
They might be good brothers, but you're the best brother.
Hey, man.
I appreciate it. And Lyric, I should know, for anyone who's not aware why I didn't say Lyric, how long's it been? It's because Lyric and I we've been kind of in the same circle as of late, right?
Yeah.
Like we'd come to those Discord things, we did some LNG stuff. So
I fell asleep last night, but I fell asleep during the first batch last night, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man, it's good shit. But yeah, Joe, we was just talking. I guess we was having kind of was unpacking the AEW women's division, if you couldn't tell, like the titles and where they go and the directions and the depth of stories the rest of the women have and what they don't have, and could this lead to them looking at the other side, looking to the dark side, you know? And it's like, it's just interesting, isn't it? We'll see, because it is a big weekend, isn't it, Joe, for the women's division?
It is. I do think the belt might change, the world title, that is.
Okay.
If I was a betting man, because I'm not, if I was, I think Thekla is, I'm just saying, dude, live dog in that thing. If you're a betting man,
I wouldn't be mad at it.
I think all of them have a real legit reason to be champion. And I will say, a lot of times in 4-ways, they do feel very thrown together, right? Like this is just a match. Like even like with the TBS 4-way, obviously we knew nobody was beating.
Tell me about it.
But this particular 4-way feels very strategic. Like and even if Tony does end up retaining, I do feel like something big is going to happen. Like it does feel, even like with Statlander, this is her first time since All Out 2021 even challenging for the
crazy.
belt. This is you got to think throughout the entire Owen Hart Cup, they didn't even acknowledge any of Tony and Jamie's history. Like it's clear like they were saving this. They wouldn't even talk about it on commentary. It's clear like they were very much saving it for like this moment. And so like and here's the thing, I think, yeah, you could have Mercedes beat Tony, sure. And I think it'd be big, especially if they end up making the main event in the pay-per-view. But because of how dominant Tony has been, like I kind of feel like you're going to have like a freak force of nature, like somebody really kill her. Like, you know, like really bloody, ugly, like it's going to have to really be like almost like a murder. Or, you know, you have to really, and I think you have several motivations for that. Thekla has backup, right? Stat has the Death Riders, or maybe even it's Jamie. Like, I think the thing that has been going through my mind is like, what if they kind of like stole the title, kind of like Kenny and Don Callis did at Winter Is Coming, you know, from Jon Moxley, and just kind of like a heist. Just because that's how dominant she's been. And so I do think it's going to take an equally large force of nature to, you know, get that belt off of her.
Regarding Tony being like murdered for the belt, you know, one thing I've kind of, I don't know, I guess kind of swirled around in my head recently is, I think with Mercedes, and it's always kind of a weird conversation to get into when we talk about Mercedes and like character work, you know. But I do think Mercedes is like current heel character. I do think there's room for her to go a bit darker,
1,000%.
you know, and a bit more like vicious and violent and stuff. And I think obviously she's been so arrogant and confident and full of a shit this whole time. And obviously she lost to Tony, which affected her, you know, and I think you could really play into that. And it's like, when she's face to face with Tony again, it makes her really insecure. It makes her really kind of like lash out, vicious, violent, brings out a different side to her. Then when she eventually wins the belt, like I've been calling for, it's like that's your women's champion. Do you know what I mean? Like this more, violent, locked-in version of Mercedes' current character. Because I do think like her shtick's fine for what it is at the moment, but I do think, like I said, there's more room for her to kind of lock in on something a bit more dark and violent.
You guys were all talking about it, but it sounds strange to say because she's had a lot of really good matches and she's been there now. Mercedes has for 18 months, right? She's been AEW.
Yeah.
But creatively, I think you've barely scratched the surface because you've mostly just done matchmaking, and matchmaking's fine. But I think in terms of angles, like, you've not really got anything out of what Mercedes can be as a character on the show. And I'm not here to suggest that Mercedes is ever going to be a timeless Tony, right, or whatever it may be, but I think you could make more creative attempts and efforts to bring the best out of her in that domain. Yeah. So lots more to do, and I think there's an interesting story to tell with this idea of her, like, she's, she ticks every box, she wins every belt, but that mountaintop that is Toni Storm and the AEW World Title, that like drives her crazy. I think that's interesting.
I was gonna say, I don't feel like I feel like we saw a little bit of that bothering her, but I don't think that they leaned into it enough. It was immediately get more belts and like make her seem just more bulletproof, And I think for me personally, I think that's why I really did enjoy their all-in match, but I think that was why I was really underwhelmed in a lot of ways, because I felt like in the build to this match, they're talking crazy, right? Like, you're going to have to kill me. You're going to have to do this, etc. And I don't feel like the match really communicated like that level of aggression, like they had talked about it. And I'm not expecting like Mercedes to be a death match wrestler or anything like that whatsoever, right? But I don't feel like that really was communicated. And I think that's also, even me personally, I don't want to see that match again until we see something significantly different from Mercedes character-wise. We do need to see her be more vicious and more aggressive. And I think the times that we've kind of like seen her like lean towards it, we can never really dive in because like the fuse are so short. Like, I think that's why there's so much potential left on the table with her and Willow, specifically. Like, I think that would have been like the perfect person for her to essentially like, torture time. But, like, because of the nature of like being TBS champion is constantly on to the next opponent, on to the next pay-per-view cycle. Like, we haven't really seen her be able to really stretch anything out and really like sink her teeth in. And I think like that's for me personally, that's another hang up that I have of like, running that match back until what's going to be significantly different. Like, like I think they have the star power, of course, but I think like, how are you going to make this build interesting from the last time? Like, what's what's going to be different? And I think like that level of it, and I think that's the difference with Toni too, because Toni has so many layers. She can be vicious, she can be funny, she can be aggressive. She can do just about every single thing. So it's hard. I think it's hard a lot of times for people to meet her where she is with that level of variety.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting to kind of throw all these things around because of like we don't know kind of like how this division will play out, So there's all these different like ideas that we have, and they all sound good to me, It's like, hopefully they actually do something good, even if it isn't one of these ideas. Joe, by the way, do a tweet, mate.
Have I not done one?
I don't know, have you? I'm just saying
dude.
I'm just saying, just to be sure.
I mean, like, granted, I did pair it with Dudley Boy's picture, which probably wasn't the best play, but there's a tweet, dude.
Come on, man.
Look, bro, it's a good picture. Man. It's a great picture. It's a great picture. I did it, dude. I'm a pro. Don't worry about it. I'm all good.
Oh, well,
I know what's going on.
Appreciate you, bro.
Smash the retweet on it, guys.
Yeah, man. Like, retweet, subscribe. You know, like the
notifications
video,
on. Yeah.
vote on the poll in the chat.
Yeah, I think of this always. I've always thought this would be interesting to like revisit the Mercedes Tony feud after both of them have lost their belts. Like Mercedes, like Tony said, like she said, I don't know who I am without this title. We know Mercedes has no identity like without her titles, and like I think both like we don't know what either of these women look like empty. Like we don't know what any of them look like not being like having gold and stuff. Like I think it would require a lot of character work. Like it would require a lot of this would easily be the biggest non-title type feud the AEW has ever even attempted. For women.
I would really love it if that was like the Owen finals for next year.
Oh my god, that would be really compelling.
It's interesting.
That's what I mean, man. There's a lot of good ideas, man.
There is. Just my concern would be that like you take the belt off Tony, but because Tony Khan, that's still. I think it's pretty obvious at this point. Tony Storm is Tony Khan's ace, and I think that's a totally. I think we all agree that's a fine choice, right? I think we all co-sign that as a choice. My concern would be that her non-title happenings would still be the priority, and the world champion would just slide. It's
the CM Punk again.
Well, yeah, because it's like the quick fix is we all want Chris and Willow to be the world champion at some point, right? That's what we all want. But the issue is that if they just do that to make us happy online and they don't actually believe in it, what's going to happen is inevitably we're going to be doing pay-per-view previews going, Willow's wrestling in this match that hasn't got any build, and then Tony's got a non-title match that's a street fight, and that's got the... You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Yeah.
That's the concern, yeah.
I do think, though, that is the... I don't want to say, like, the cheat code, but that's the wiggle room that is allowed through the Death Riders here. One thing we do know about this company is that outside of Tony Storm, who's always going to be on TV, Jon Moxley is always going to be on television. The Death Riders are always going to be on television. If Chris Statlander wins this championship by way of the Death Riders, she is guaranteed to be featured, regularly, And I think because Mox is no longer world champion, it does make, I think it's very, at least it seems like in this stage of the Death Riders, he's kind of shifting towards prioritizing like some of the other members. And so like, I do think like that is one way that you can kind of offset that, because Tony is always going to be a priority, as she should. Like, I think that Tony is going to be probably more important to the women's division without being champion than she probably was with the championship, because a non-title feud for her with her is going to do so much for so many people. It's going to really be able to push people and make people feel important even without putting a belt on them. And I don't think like there's not a lot of women in the division who have that level of power to be able to lift somebody else up without having a title to it.
My worry is that I think Tony Storm is the champion because Tony Khan thinks she's the ace. My concern is Mercedes Moné is the TBS champion because Tony Khan is unsure if he could do the same, just let's match make if there wasn't a belt involved. That's my concern. And I think that's lazy. But my honest gut feeling is the TBS belt remains on Mercedes because the mindset is, well, that makes it easier for us to let's just pick a wrestler for a wrestle. And we know the match is going to be
fair
good,
assumption,
right?
bro. That's more than fair, man.
Yeah,
I agree, but that's sad. That's not good. That's sad.
I hope that's not the case.
Right. But you know what I'm saying, Phil, right? Like, it's just... Sometimes these matches... Because it's going to be good, dude. Mercedes can wrestle me and it'd probably be 2.5. I don't know. That's generous to me. But, she'd get me through it. But the point I'm making is... My concern is he knows if Mercedes doesn't have that belt, he's going to have to actually get creative. They're going to have to actually get creative with her angles. And they've really struggled to do that. And you can point fingers in any which way, but ultimately... The booker is the booker, and that's always the way, Monty and I've done a million of these shows. That's the way I view it. Like, I think there's a lot of TV cachet and importance to Mercedes and her legacy and importance to women's wrestling. And I think you have to get more creative for the way like that angle she did in Philly, where it was like a 4-minute celebration.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just, how much thought have you put into that, It's Mercedes Moné. Like, not everyone is gonna be Tony Storm, who has this particular gimmick that she can just fucking do these insane like. You're gonna have to work a little harder with Mercedes on the promos. In the same way that you're gonna have to work harder with some guys in the ring, Mercedes is easy in the ring, right? She can wrestle anyone.
Absolutely.
So it's just, I'd like to see more effort creatively, I guess is my point.
I think also too, just let's say Mercedes is becomes world champion, in the immediate future. When you're setting up those long-term feuds, is just kind of you've already had, because there is no mid card. The top star, she's already beaten them, and so you will have Willow lose to her a second time. You'll have Chris Statlander lose to her a third time. You'll have Megan Bayne lose her second challenge for the title. It's I don't think that there's a perfect solution to any of this. I think you've kind of put yourself into a corner, and then with world title feuds, they're supposed to be longer booked, so. You're going to have some of these people lose 2 pay-per-views in a row after they just lost to her twice last year. It's... here's the thing. A competent booker will be able to circumvent all of these things, right? And I think that is no excuse. And I think also, too, they have to be able to, accommodate her strengths. But I think also, that Mercedes doesn't get the credit that she deserves sometimes when she really is interested into something. If they give her something worthwhile, she's going to make the best out of it.
She can do it.
Yeah.
The stuff she was doing with Athena, that short build that she had with Athena, it was really good. It was really good. Even the stuff with Tony, for the most part, it was really good. If you give her something worth a damn, and to sink her teeth into for the long term, she'll make it work, because I think she's still in that mindset. Yes, is she GOAT tier? Of course, but she's also still in that mindset of she wants to actively become better. She's always trying to better herself. She's always trying to expand her craft. Yeah, I think people need to understand she is more aware of her weaknesses and limitations than just about anybody else. So I don't think any of that is an excuse. But realistically, I do think that there's some apprehension for Tony about booking a meaningful Mercedes world title reign, because the thing is, she's already criticized harder than just about any other woman in wrestling. Any missteps, any slip-ups on the mic, anything that lands wrong, especially when she's top champion, it's going to become headline aggregator central.
It's so weird, man. As somebody who does a lot of the aggregating and stuff, it's we see a lot of the reaction, and it's we'll report, not report, we'll aggregate, or one of our guys will aggregate on the page or something Mercedes has said, and to me it's normal. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing crazy, and just the responses that she gets and her quotes gets is crazy, bro. Even when she don't even really say anything, it's just mad. It's almost sort of resentment that some people have against it. Yeah. It's wild, bro.
It's almost like people have already made their minds up, and she could say literally anything, and they would reply the same thing. Almost.
That's what I mean. That's what it is, bro. It's just there's just a level of resentment that she gets that others don't.
It's I mean.
What do you think about, because I think this kind of goes into the next, but I do think they're intertwined in a lot of ways, the TBS and world title matches. But what do you think about the possibility of Mercedes having her own faction with the Renegades?
What would concern me is I think you would have to give the Renegades a run up in terms of TV stature. We're familiar with the Renegades, but what they've actually done on TV, I think you'd have to do some work first. Especially because they're just... Sometimes the factions thing just becomes a vehicle to do more six-mans, and that's fine, but with Mercedes, to me, one of the greatest strengths that still is there with Mercedes, she still has that, to me, she's still special and different, right? She's still separate from the pack. I wouldn't want to lump her in, so you'd have to make sure the Renegade Twins are prepared for it. But as an idea, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Definitely not.
Yeah. I feel like it's on that list of things that you gotta get to it or stop teasing it.
I'm not interested in it. Oh yeah. The Mercedes starting a faction, maybe, maybe.
Yeah.
But I do kind of lean with Joe in the sense of like Mercedes is so special as an individual. It's like we can, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. And I think that would be such a big opportunity as well. That I think it's kind of. I get like obviously the point of it would be to elevate the Renegades and make them real players, blah 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 blah. But I think there's still women that are way above them that could get the same level of like rub off it, So it's like
Yeah, I mean that's why it depends on some of the other things. Because if we're getting to these tag belts, it wouldn't hurt at all to have like the Renegades on TV because they're an established tag team, and you could put them in the mix for the tag belts. But again, you gotta get to it. You gotta start announcing these things.
I don't even know if Charlotte cleared. Like,
I haven't seen. I don't know what her
some
deal
people
is.
have asked that in the chat as well. I have no idea.
Do you remember when? I don't know how sustainable it would be. Do you remember when MVP first showed up and he was handing the cards out to everyone, and they gave one to Mercedes? Like, I'm not saying it's a perfect fit. I would definitely like to see him cut a couple promos. He would build her up as like, we talk about Mercedes being the GOAT. MVP would absolutely cut promos.
Yeah, he'd sell that, brother.
Like if you presented, you'd have to be careful because you don't want to do, like if Willow Nightingale's feuding with Mercedes, you don't want MVP cutting the fucking head-to-head promos. But like if he was like a boxing promoter, so Mercedes was still the star, but he would like.
You and the boxing promoter.
Yeah, bro, because
you're 100%. No, you're spot on with this. It's just like when Holbert and just like a boxing promoter, man.
I will say, and Mercedes losing the TV
always with the boxing promoter
and getting a manager, like somebody really good. Like it would have to be like MVP level. Like I do think like that's intriguing. I do think like
it'd be so cool.
With a mouthpiece and like you have to think she's a prize fighter. She is a prize fighter.
Exactly. She has all these belts like a fucking prize fighter.
Like honestly, it's too many people at this point. Mercedes with Don Callis talking.
Oh come on.
Hold on.
Would be nuts. Would be nuts. We're better. Wait, no, we can't say those names on screen. He'd be like better than Moolah. Better than
Moolah.
But I mean, it's better than Moolah.
Better than Toyota.
Better than Moolah is crazy.
There's a lot of Don on TV, guys. I think we got a lot of Don.
There's a lot of Don.
Dude, I was at Forbidden Door. I thought Don was going to take a seat next to me at some point. I saw him every fucking match he came out. How many guys does he manage?
I wonder if he gets a bonus for every guy like they add now. Better than Moolah.
He ain't a playoff rotation. He's got a full lineup. He's got 15 guys. Yeah,
man.
I think a manager would be a good idea, though.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah, people were saying that at the start, bro. Like people naturally were like, "Oh, Stokely, put Stokely with Mercedes." I remember loads of people saying that at the time. Do you know what I mean? So it's like Mercedes. I think the idea of Mercedes being put with a really strong mouthpiece, whether that being MVP, whether that being Stokely. Don Callis.
I love Stoke, but him and Mercedes, it would immediately become shtick. Whereas MVP is so serious, to a fault, takes himself very seriously. Like
I agree.
I was just making a point of just.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, that was the thing people said. Yeah, I'm with you completely.
Not even just down here, just the idea of Mercedes being with a strong mouthpiece, even Don Callis. But yeah, man. Yeah, we've spent quite a long time kind of unpacking the women's division. I guess that'll be kind of the main convo from this podcast today. But I thought it was a convo that I liked having, bro, because it's these are the sort of conversations that I think I was gonna say we need to have, like with a fucking booking committee, you know. You know what I'm saying?
We spent more time talking about the women's division on here than like the last 3 weeks of AEW TV.
Yeah, we've just done 3 months of creative meetings, you know. Didn't come to any actual conclusions, but still, you know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, that'll be kind of the main part of this pod, I reckon, the main convo from this pod. But yeah, the AEW Women's Division is in an interesting spot, and it could go on a big upswing coming out of this weekend. So fingers crossed. Elsewhere on All Out, We've got Okada versus Takeshita versus Masquerade Dorada. We know what Dorada's in this match, don't we? Because as great as his performance, I'm sure, will be, and as fun as this match will be altogether, we know why he's in this match, and But yeah, Takeshita and Okada in the same ring, but Dorada is most likely eating that pin. So,
It's gonna be,
So,
this
yeah.
match is gonna be so sexy. Like, this is just gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be a great match, man. I'm not. Some of you guys will know exactly how I feel about triple threats in it, but most of you will. But this is one of the few triple threats that I'm not like frowning at. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Takeshita's so. I don't know, there's something about
It
this.
makes sense too because you're developing their thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, if it's like the big multi-man we had from All Out before with Takeshita and Okada, it'll be good. So,
I think this is gonna be better than that one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who else was in that match the last time? Was it Orange Cassidy and that was like a half broken down Orange Cassidy too.
Pop.
And it was like a 4-way, I think.
It was a 4-way. It was Okada, Takeshita, Orange Cassidy. Why do I want to say Kyle O'Reilly?
Hold on, I'm not sure.
Was it Mark?
Briscoe?
It was Mark
Someone
Briscoe.
said
There you go.
Yeah, it was,
Briscoe,
and it was
just said
15
Briscoe.
minutes long. Like, this one is going to be better. I think it's just going to be a much more tighter, succinct match, and I think also Takeshita feels like a much bigger star than he did this time last year, which I think is really great. And Okada has gained a lot of, since, beating Kenny at All In and like the unified belt. So this just feels like a bigger affair altogether. And Master of Dorada has been amazing this year, of course. So I'm really excited.
Doing his thing, man. He's been doing his thing. We all got Okada winning this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
What else we got? Tag title ladder match. This could be chaotic. The Bucks have qualified and they have got their money up once again. The EVPs have finally got their money up once again. And to kind of not fully echo Ibu on Twitter, we had this conversation, I think, in private, bro. Like, the whole, EVPs, they're broke low, they've lost their money, like, that bit was getting a bit tired for me. Like,
Really?
It was, bro. Like, it's how many more weeks are we gonna do? Like, they're broke, lol. Like, can we actually do something with it? Do you know them ones? So now they've got their money and they've got something that's a little bit fresher.
I don't think it's over though, Monty.
I don't think it's over.
They're gonna lose. No, they're gonna lose it, but at least they're doing something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna be honest. Being broke for 2 months, that's not even a full 2 months. That's better than I've ever been broke. I'll tell you that.
But yeah, man,
I'm trade with y'all in a heartbeat.
The whole bit of dunking on them was just getting a bit I guess kind of repetitive. Like, oh, this is just what they do now. Do you know them ones? And like I said, it's not that I'm against them doing it full stop. It's just just do something a bit different. So them being up now, do you know what I mean? Even if they lose it all, they nearly lost it all on the casino in BTE. Even if they lose it all, someone robs it off them or something. At least they're just doing something a bit different,
I really do appreciate them using it as a vehicle to bring BTE back. My money is so much brighter. So thank you.
I think there's something to the idea that the longer this is going on, they're reclaiming a bunch of the things that made them the Bucks in the first few years of this company, and there's no way this is not leading to a babyface turn. It's inevitable.
Even their gear, like the tassel, slowly coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
So I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't hated it either. I was just saying it was just getting to a point with me. It was just getting to a point where it's like, okay, what else are they gonna do now? And now they're doing it. So yeah, they are of course in the tag title ladder match. Brodido, the champs, of course. We've got Hechicero and Josh Alexander. Yeah, it's got to be Josh Alexander, hasn't it? And of course Jet Speed as well in that one. I don't think the Bucks are going to win the tag titles back yet. I do think Brodido will probably retain here. Their reign obviously is not really that long in the tooth yet at all. So, yeah, Yeah, so I think this will be fun. You got 4 really good tag teams in this, haven't you?
Yes.
So what I will say about the Bucks as well, bro, they're in like the best shape they've been in like fucking 6 years, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're on, but shout out to them, any.
Matches have been fire. They're low key my tag team of the year, man. Like they've been smoking.
High key. Thank you.
Who's even in the conversation? See, this one, Ibu did the
It's the same teams every year, dude. It's the same.
FTR.
Young Bucks.
It'd just be we'll just
FTR.
here you got Bucks or FTR, and then like Brody'd been good and Jet Speed but because I think FTR have had a really good year. It's not something I want to debate.
They're in that
September.
conversation. They're straight up in that conversation.
I thought
undeniably for me.
the Outrunners match as a crown jewel of their case is pretty strong. I think like that was crazy with all respect. So, but I to me this year has been the first year where the Bucks and FTR in AEW have both been like at the top of their game because usually one's up and the other one's kind of struggling a little bit. This year they've both been great, both been in great form. So yeah, I haven't got any issue with the Bucks pick. This match should be really fun, really exciting. I'm going to be scared multiple times that people have lost a limb in a ladder match because as is now a monthly tradition. But Hechicero in a ladder match is fascinating.
Come on, man.
I hope he just does his
Come on, bro.
He's so awesome, bro.
There's some real flyers in this match too. It's gonna be some nutty stuff, like some real flyers in this match.
100%. And Josh Alexander's not a flyer, but he is an absolute lunatic.
Stupid.
Yeah, he'll take something crazy. So I think the match will be awesome. The one thing is, I do hope that we get, we talked about Mercedes a moment ago. Hopefully Brodito get a chance to have real feuds for these belts. They can have fun matches with any team, but I also think that they're a great babyface act, and we need to get some heels that can fucking get heat on them, and so on and so forth. So, and hopefully we get more with FTR and the Bucks as 2-on-2 matches, right, for Brodito. So, more to come, but for now, this is going to be a really good pay-per-view match.
Yeah, we all. Well, I've said Brodito. I think we're going to retain too early for them to drop the titles. I think we all kind of on board with that. Or is anyone?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be really cool, honestly, if the Don Callis family, after Kyle loses, targets the tag belts next, targets, Brodito. I think that would be really cool. Give them a heels to go up against. Yeah.
Yeah. My off the wall pick for one of their next challengers is Big Dan Garcia and Will Yuta. I'd be all for it, man.
That's actually really good. That's actually really good.
So do we think, I apologize if I missed this conversation, do we think Garcia's in the group, or is he an inside man, an agent?
He's definitely in the group.
He's in.
I'm going to pretend you guys didn't say that. I think he's a sleeper agent.
You think he's
a sleeper agent?
I don't know. I just saw him wearing shorts and went, well, hold on.
Heel turn's happening, buddy. It's over.
I think someone briefed me. I think someone sent a live chat in about that. You might be, trying to infiltrate the Death Riders from within. Yeah. But I don't know, Joe. I don't know, brother.
Doing one old man's bidding to another old man's bidding. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, man. Okay, so next we'll go to Mercedes versus Riho TBS Championship match. Not a lot to say about this, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? Look, there hasn't really been that much of a build or anything to really discuss about this match, to be honest. Outside of what we've already said about Mercedes' challenger of the month, kind of what we already had a long convo about. I guess all I can ask on this is, obviously Mercedes is going to win. How high of a bar are we setting for this match, though? Once the bell rings,
you gotta be a bit. I think you gotta be a bit wary because of how little Riho's wrestled, right?
Yeah.
3.75 floor, 4.25 ceiling. I think 3 3/4 for Mercedes on pay-per-view.
And the ceiling is very high. I agree with you on the ceiling. The floor I would lie just because I worry about Riho's rust. But I mean, what I know is if we had a time machine and we knew for a fact what Riho was getting, I think this would be a natural matchup. And they'd have a great match. I don't know where, because I didn't see the tag match, but people were saying that Riho she had some rust to shake off. So hopefully she's good.
She looked better this week. I will say
Good.
she
She
looked
did.
better
She did.
this week
She
than
did.
she did last week, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the matches that Mercedes initially said she wanted. This was teased very early on when she got there.
Yeah.
I do think it's very funny that same day as Wrestle Palooza, Tony Khan had to break the glass, bring back Big Match Rio. It's only right.
Ratings juggernauts. Meter mover. Yeah. Break the glass. Yeah.
But yeah, Mercedes is definitely winning here.
I will say also, Riho really doesn't have to do too much. To be quite honest, this is also an aura former at this point for All Elite Wrestling. Riho really just has to show up, wave at the people, hit that stump one good time. The crowd goes wild. It is what it is.
Hit the splash.
Come on. If they could, maybe they would be the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion, but they can't. She's really too tough. So it'll be fun. We'll have fun.
I'm with you.
Also,
I
was going to say really quickly, do we think like Takeshita, are they going to turn on him like this weekend or?
I don't think it happens yet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it happens yet. A lot more teasing and stare downs with Okada. There's a lot more of that to do, I think.
Yeah. The fan base is ready though, man. That Takeshita babyface turn is gonna oof.
But yeah, man.
That's
Looking
gonna hit.
forward to it. And how that all, because I'm with Phil, I think that will just all explode when that happens, But Hurt Syndicate versus Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. Yeah, man, I'm not. I've liked this kind of direction for the Hurt Syndicate. Give them something to do that isn't just beating up the tag team division. I really, bro, that Bobby Lashley Toa Leona match.
Godly.
A lot of
Bro.
Toa's
Take
awesome, dude.
take me back.
Loved it. MVP throwing Ricochet around outside the ring. Like these three guys, man, they're just great. It's very simple formula. They come out, they look very big and menacing. They throw people around. It works. People chant the theme song. It works.
Yeah.
Good shit,
MVP pape match is that's what wrestling's all about, dude. 2025. I'm saying, look, MVP's a bad man. I believe he could take him in a fight, but I'm just
second or third degree black belt.
Exactly. So he doesn't need
man.
He doesn't need my fighting advice, believe it or not. But as a fan of his podcast, I do want to know if Toa Leona tags in, get the fuck out of there. You can't be getting in there with the stem cells and shit and get bumping around for Toa Leona. It's different, dude. I'm telling you. I have no doubt he could take him in a straight up fight. We're talking about this is a different thing here. AEW All Out, bro. A 6-man tag. You got to tag out. Just tag out.
What I just thought about? Toa Leona only has like 2 singles matches on Dynamite, and they were both like godly. Like,
he's awesome.
That's what he's about, bro.
We should see him do that more. Like he had the amazing one versus Hangman, an amazing one versus Bobby. Man, what a guy!
And his partner may have the best look in all of wrestling. Bishop Khan is honestly freakish. How that he's not like been a bigger deal in wrestling. Just the way he looks. Fuck.
Bro, looks like $1 million. Every time Ashe puts up that image of him in the wicker chair holding the belt, it looks so fire. I'm like, man, you gotta get to it with this guy.
I will say I wouldn't be mad if coming out of this match they heat up Gates of Agony to be a more like a more reputable heel team to go up against Bernardino, because I think like there's a lot of potential with those guys that I don't think has been explored. Like they're more than just like jobber status. Like they can go.
Yeah, and they're different because there's a lot of, this sounds more demeaning than I intend for it, but there's a lot of move teams, right? They're like go, but they feel dangerous, right? They're like, they feel like destroyers, especially Toa. I like them a lot. I've liked them for a long time now. I remember Khan's prior tag team. I forget the name, when they were in Ring of Honor with Shane Taylor. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 5 years ago now. But I think they've got a lot of talent. It's just there's so many guys that it's taken them a long time to get a spot like this, right? But hopefully they make it stick. And seems like Bobby's willing to play ball with Big Toa, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
Bobby is as
Pounds.
good for anybody under 250 pounds, and that's
Sweet,
just,
yeah.
you know what? Hey,
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
I'm with it, bro. I'm with it, man. When those whispers of criticism were first floating around, I was like, bro, look at the people are asking him to sell for, man. Like,
It's better with them as baby faces though. Because as heels, they just beat the fuck out of the baby faces, and the crowd was like, "They hurt people, brother."
And I also don't really like Bobby much as a tag wrestler. I just think that he just thrives so much differently as a singles guy. Like,
that's
you know,
fair. That's fair. But yeah, I like the look of this match. I'm not sure who's gonna win, but yeah, it's fair to lean on the Heart Syndicate side, isn't it?
I don't know. I think Ricochet needs some.
They should be MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
think-
that, but
yeah.
it's the Hurt Syndicate, and you know.
I know, but I think MVP will. I think he'll put over Ricochet and do a tweet like, "Take that at PW Torch, or whatever." You know.
Yeah, because he has been tweeting similar things
He
like
has,
that.
yeah.
Like, don't
He's a
believe these
beast.
rumors. I do think Hurt Syndicate is going to lose. There's been the rumors of them adding a fourth member now. And I think that makes a lot of sense with MVP basically being their mouthpiece, and this sets up maybe another 6-man match down the road with the fourth member.
Fair. Yeah, I agree.
Who's the fourth member?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. They bring somebody in. Is it somebody in AEW currently?
If I had it my way, when does Leon Slater's contract expire with TNA?
It's gotta be soon, hasn't it, Joe?
Please, God.
I don't know.
Oh God!
No, because you remember when we fucking did the thing on the channel, and it was just before he signed with TNA, and I'm pretty sure it was a 2-year deal.
That would make
pretty sure.
sense. Yeah.
Like, yo,
That's why I said that. I wasn't asking you like you were fucking his agent.
I don't gonna lie. I felt under a lot of pressure there, Monty. I was like, I don't fucking know.
Get him out of there. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. Kevin Knight, but they got such a good thing going with Jet Speed. I don't see it
I need
happening.
Jet Speed to win the tag belts at least once before they break them up.
Could you imagine, like, MVP says he's not cleared? I'm not saying this is a good idea. I'm just saying it's an interesting visual. MVP says he's not cleared. It'll be a 6-man. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony versus Bobby Shelton and a Mystery Man. And fucking Swerve walks out, and Ricochet does the big, like, what the hell? You know, you loop it all the way back to the start with Ricochet and the Syndicate.
What about Hawk?
I mean, I can do it too if you want, Monty. I mean, we could do it anyway.
That's crazy.
After the MJF thing, I think we do need to go back to the original criteria. You know,
Jump Van Jiminator in the chat. He said,
Nah,
"Stop jumping me."
there's criteria.
You're not trying to get Hook in there and get like Dame Dash doing like a segment.
Unfortunately, we clarified a long time ago that Taz is not black. Hello. We do have a criteria to be able to hurt people. And he just doesn't fit the criteria. I'm sorry. Well, yes, we got to start.
Someone said man like DeReese was at Ring of Honor. That'd be a huge opportunity for him.
I would love it.
When you said 2-1, oh why?
Is he a heel though? I've always seen him be. Have you seen him be a heel? Yeah.
I don't.
Bro, he can be whatever.
Bro, I would.
I
like
think he'll
him.
be whatever
Yeah.
y'all want him to be. If he
He's
can-
moldable.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
He's not going
I-
to get a call and go, "No thanks, I'm a babyface."
I do think like it's a really good chance that if it's not Kevin Wright, I do think whoever will be added, because I'm trying to think of like established indie black talent. It'll probably be British. Whoever it is, it might be British. Now that I'm thinking about it, because you have Michael Oku, DeReese, Leon Slater, if he gets freed from the TNA shackles.
It better not be.
Oku
It better not be Oku, bro.
He doesn't hurt people. He doesn't hurt people.
I don't think Oku really hurts people, but
No, he's hurt me a few times, but it's different from Meryl whatever.
I actually really like Michael.
No,
Oku. I don't think he's a good fit for.
He's just not a good fit for this. Jokes aside,
No.
he's a guy you bring in as underneath babyface, and that's completely fine.
And he bumps for his life.
Yeah.
Genuinely, with all respect to Michael Oku, him standing next to those guys would look insane.
It would.
It would look insane.
It
And that's fine. Most guys are going to look insane alongside them. Dude, that's the whole problem we were just talking about.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Someone said Keith Lee.
Come
Stop.
on, man. They need a guy to bump for them. They don't need fucking
Stop.
Keith Lee out there.
I said Michael Oku. No. Come on, man.
Unfortunately, the perfect person for this is currently doing something else. I mean,
Yeah.
like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Kevin Knight was perfect.
Kevin Knight would be perfect.
Yeah, he was.
yeah.
He was.
Because he has a bit of an edge and he has size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leon Slater
I
would
can
be
do
top
it if
of
you
my
want.
current list.
If you want me to do it, I can do it.
Actually, number 2 to Hall, but obviously, Leon Slater would top my list, man.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Hobbs. What would you think? What would you think of Hobbs?
I would like Hobbs.
ditching the arc.
Any other time, I would love the idea, but I actually think there's a lot of room for growth for him as a babyface, right? I think he's really connecting. I think there's more for him to do. Like,
That's
I
true.
think the dynamic with him and Joe, I think, is fucking awesome. Where Joe's like his big brother, you know, and he's sort of. When I was in Forbidden Door, when they did that angle where they both came out to try and get the cage lifted up, they're cool as fuck together. So
I do
don't
think
know.
though, even if he does it, I think he does end up
yeah,
a baby face again anyway. Like, and
yes.
I mean, Hobbs versus Bobby, man.
Well, I would like to see the Ops versus the Syndicate, regardless of any of this, because that would be cool. Joe has a lot of history with MVP, and yeah, that'd be interesting.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, man. All right, let's fly through these. We got Eddie versus Big Bill, of course. Big Bill just calling him out a lot. We are all going to be very happy to see Eddie again. As I said earlier, I would have liked to have seen Eddie talk at some point. Do you know what I mean? We sell this fight, you know. But yeah, not really much else to say. I think we're all excited to see Eddie again, and it's kind of a wait and see kind of thing, you know. Unless anyone's got anything to add.
Nah.
I think he's probably going to talk though. I do think he'll probably pick up a microphone. I think they'd be stupid to not let him pick up a microphone during that pay-per-view at some point. He needs to talk. And maybe his next challenger, his next big feud will probably be, you know, revealed after this. Unless he gets involved with Darby Mox.
I'm very torn on this because I think this is like Eddie handpicking what he wants to do. I think Eddie wants to take it slow and just get back in there and wrestle because I think if we know anything about Eddie Kingston, you know, at times he can get in his own head and kind of question his own value and I think if you said to him, we're bringing you back in an angle with Moxley, he'd be like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Let me just have a match with a guy who I know can, because Big Bill is very respected as a pro. Very, very respected. This feels like a guy he's handpicked. I can sell for him. I can fight him underneath. We'll be fine. Let me get through a match. And I think that's great. I do think, while respecting what he wants to do, as a booker, you kind of have to say, Eddie, we've got to do a surprise pop for you, dude. Like, maybe you shoot an angle and then do the match. I don't know, man. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, listen, I'm sure this will be fine. The 10 toes down, Wheat Tim's invitational will be cool, but come on, man. I think you could have done better.
It would have been an all-time reaction, dude. It would have been an all-time reaction.
You broke lyric, bro.
I don't know what else we're doing here, man. Like, come on, man. Queens, New York, Yonkers in the building, man. Come on.
Jesus Christ. Wheat
Yeah,
Tims, man. Wheat Tims.
Shout out Eddie Kingston, bro.
I'm excited to
Doing
see
his
it.
thing.
Excited.
Should be a fun one.
Yeah.
Well, where do I want to go next? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Get it together, man.
I'm sorry. My glasses start fogging.
Getting hot. But all right. MJF, Mark Briscoe. Mark's picked a stipulation, and I can't find exactly what it is, but I know it was
It's
like some
TNT.
fucking.
Tables and tacks.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
There we go. Tables and tacks. Yeah, obviously, not most people. I think I'd love to see Mark win here. And I think as a match, they may be able to play on that quite well. You know, depending on obviously on Max's performance as a heel and what routes he decides to go. But I think they can really anchor the match on that, on like how much people love Mark and how much people would like to see him win such a big match. You know, so I think this could be really good, man. And obviously, I would like to see Mark actually win rather than it just being a device to make the match better. I would actually like to see Mark get that win. Do you know what I mean? But skeptical for obvious reasons. You know, MJF's actually wrestling tonight. MJF's wrestling. Yeah, he's wrestling tonight in a mass versus title match against Mystico.
That's what we do, bro. That's what we do.
People have talked a lot about how big this weekend is, like for AEW and like WWE with like ESPN and Max. But like, shout out to CMLL for getting on Triller for this. Like, I think they're going to pull in.
They're on Triller.
Yeah. So it's available on Triller, the anniversary show for fans outside of Mexico.
English commentary too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, man. Look,
it's big. Yeah.
Max is doing big business.
It's been a great year for Lucha Libre, man.
Yeah, it has.
Well, depending on how you look at it, but for CMLL, absolutely.
Yeah, look, Max getting in a ring with Mystico, creating flyers with Andrade on the internet. Fun time.
I think the thing is, I worry about will MJF lose twice in one weekend? That's more so my thing.
No, absolutely
I don't
not.
think so. And I know for a fact, Mystico is not losing that mask.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
That would be like the craziest swerve of the decade.
Yeah. Yeah. This kind of feels like the scenario for the Ricochet match with Mark Briscoe, where it was just kind of the thing to really emphasize how dangerous Max is coming forward, going for Hangman again. Yeah, I just don't see Mark winning here.
I think Max will eventually lose to Mark Briscoe, but when he does, I actually think it'll be Mark winning the belt. That's my honest gut feeling. I think this will all tie back around. I think Max wants to do extended business with Mark Briscoe. I think once he wins the world title, you will see Mark on the hunt for that belt. That's my gut feeling. I could be completely wrong. That's how I.
I hope you're right, brother.
I think you're right. I think Max is very aware of the money to be made with Mark Briscoe. I don't think he sees this as a side mission. You know, I could be wrong. I have no idea.
I don't know. I kind of feel like at this point with Mark Briscoe, he's lost every match.
He's lost a lot.
Consequence to the point that I'm not sure is going to be. I mean, never say never, but I doubt it's going to be very possible to make him feel credible to win any belt at this point. Like, or just for people to believe that he can win. Like, it's going to be really difficult.
I think just promo time. I think you'd have to change his presentation. They've flirted a lot with him, like getting more serious, and then they've kind of reined it in. If you're going to do it, this loss needs to transform him. But if you give him promo time and wins, I think he can make anything work because he's Mark Briscoe. But I understand your point. He's lost a lot. There was moments in this feud where I thought he was going to get more serious, and they kind of slowed that down. So I'm hoping that's something we're going to get to eventually. I think it is something we're going to get to. It's just because I love Mark. Mark's one of my all-time favorites, but like he's funny enough without like being a caricature of himself. You know, like it's
100%.
It's a fine line. Like he's fucking hilarious and he's a character, but he can also be a serious money promo. I've seen him do that for 20 plus years. So there's a lot more to do with Mark. It's just a matter of putting him in the position to do it, and that's what you want from him. So.
Absolutely. I'm with you, though. I think they'll get there. So, yeah, man. But, yeah, it looks like MJF is going to get this win here. I can't see him losing two in 1 weekend, like we said. Let's go with Darby versus Mox coffin match. As I said, I think some people are kind of sleeping on this. One of the matches I'm most looking forward to this weekend. I think Mox maybe wins this. Probably. It's a coffin match.
I don't feel like Darby can lose this. Like he hasn't really done anything since coming back. Like, has he even outside of the steel cage match? Has he wrestled since? Oh,
No.
I don't
Claudio.
know, but I can
Claudio.
just see
Yeah,
him
I was
getting
about to say,
fucked
just had
over bad.
Claudio.
Like,
oh yeah, that did happen. That did.
I mean, in fairness to Monty, it's always a safe bet to presume Darby's going to lose one of these. He just gets the shit kicked out of him every time.
What-
That's kind of
well,
the
he-
Darby Allen.
Well, he lost his last one, right? His last coffin match versus Jack Perry
Yes,
at
this
All
was, unless I'm wrong, this was the one step where he was like protected, right? Because usually Darby, the whole thing with Darby is you can just kind of beat him, right? And he, he's
Yeah.
Darby.
In. Yeah.
The coffin match was the one thing that he was protected in. And that match, people forget because Sting came back. That match was fascinating. Jack Perry just beat the fuck out of him in that match and beat him. It was like, what?
It was super
bizarre.
short too, right?
Yeah, it was really. I remember being in the building and people being so confused by that match. So there's a chance Moxley just beats the fuck out. I do think there's something to be said for what Lyric said of like, your babyface just came back, have him win the damn match. It's a coffin match. You have to pin Moxley. I would go Darby. I'm not sure he'll win.
Yeah.
Fairs.
I just don't think this feud is over after this match, and
I
that's
agree.
why I'm not sure that Darby wins, because I do think they're going to do more with Darby and Mox, and then you just turned Garcia. He's inevitably going to interfere in this match. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think Mox is going to win.
I will say though, if they did like an angle of like the Death Rider standing tall at the end of the night after like, even especially like if you consider if Chris Statlander or whoever joins the Death Riders actually pulls it off, like that would be nuts. Like if of them just standing on top of the company just after killing Darby for like the 14th time. But then he'll be revived soon, and we'll do it all over again next pay-per-view.
Yeah, man. I'm not mad at you. FTR versus Cage and Cope and Cage. Edge and Christian, whatever you want to call them, brother. But they are
Calling them
taking
losers
on
tomorrow, bro. Calling them losers. Can't
when
fucking
they
have
take
it.
on the FTR. That's what we're calling them. They're losing. But yeah, man. Of course, this is a matchup we've all known that they've wanted to do themselves for a long time. Especially FTR and Cope. I guess less so on Christian's behalf. He's probably just there for the ride. Them ones.
He keeps letting us know that at every turn. Like, man, I was all right
man.
before I joined this. Like, I'm fine. I hope Dax is okay and cleared to go. He took a gnarly looking hit to the nose with that microphone, gush of blood on TV.
Yeah, Cage just straight up punched him in the face, bro. That was crazy.
Real workers.
That was crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah.
but,
So, I think it'll be a good match, though.
obviously, they've done a decent bit of talking in this build, as you would expect. They've done some angles. Of course, the big thing being Cope and Cage reuniting, and it's just like, yeah, we're finally getting to it now. We're in Toronto as well, so you assume the live audience is going to be electric for this one. So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't put any expectation on it, and that's not even me being like trying to stay safe or not get too overly optimistic about it. It's just I genuinely don't. Who fucking knows, bro? Like, this could be great. Like, I don't know. Joe, you seem to agree. I just don't know though.
This will be the main event of my cameo on this wonderful program, so I'm going to be very direct with it. I don't know what this is going to look like. Montel is right. The only thing I can promise is pain. These Canadian cowards thinking it's fucking 2000, putting Kip Sabian matches in major arenas in the year of 2025. The crimes they have committed against this great sport. It ends tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. Tune in, folks. 3 p.m. Eastern. Be there early. Get your popcorn ready. It won't last long. It may last 45 minutes or so, but I'm telling you it won't last long at all. We ain't even going to need the... Dude, Sham Machine's left at home for this one. We don't need that in Toronto, Just give us some power and glory. Maybe just a brain buster. That's all it will take, dude. You can't just hop back in there, This is a different level. So, when you're in there swimming with the sharks, wrestling the Workhorsemen and Adam Priest, Edge and Christian is fucking light work. Colliders, we move different. Jokes aside, I'm actually really excited for the match. It clearly means a lot to the guys, as Monty said. The build, I think, has been good. FTR are in great form. I worry that everyone involved is going to overextend. I think the match has to be wrestled with a certain understanding of the limitations of the baby faces, and I say that with full respect and love. They are both 50. Like, Christian's still very good. Copeland, I think it's a tough shift these days. But I think the Heat opening match, I think they'll have a good one. I'm looking forward to it. But I appreciate you guys for having me. I'm going to hop out on that note, and we should run this lineup back sometime. It was very fun. Very, very fun.
Yeah,
All right. Everyone enjoy the pay-per-view. Have a great night. All that good stuff, and I'll speak to everyone soon. Right.
Bye, Joe.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Okay, let's go back to the scores. All right, FTR, Cope and Cage. Lyric, you got anything you want to add about anything going into this?
I'm going to be honest. I think this match is either going to be really good or really bad. I don't think like there's any in between. Like I just genuinely don't think like there's any middle ground. This is either going to be godly or dog shit. I do think because they're either going to be very over ambitious about this and go way too far, or they're going to like just try to like over or a farm and play the hits, you know, like, and so listen, man, I will say, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know this about me. Adam Copeland, Edge, whatever you want to call him, he was my favorite wrestler growing up. And so nostalgia will get me in the door. I'm an OG Edge head. I actually, I read Adam Copeland on Edge, his autobiography in 5th grade. I carried it with me everywhere that I went. I cannot tell a lie. I boohoo cried the day that he retired. I rejoiced when he came back. So nostalgia gets me in the door. And I can begrudgingly admit that FTR is having a good year. Yeah, man. I'm a lot like you, Monty. I'm trying to go into this with little expectations. I just didn't want it to main event. And so the fact that we're opening, I think like we're already doing really good. I think like we're doing really good. I only need this to like, I think we have like there's a 2 3/4 floor, 4.75 ceiling. That's a wide berth there.
Yeah.
It is.
But
it is.
That's what I think that's what we're moving with.
Fizz.
I don't know who wins though. I actually really don't know who wins. I actually really don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's Toronto. I think CNC are winning here. I think because FDR usually has managed to pull great performances out of so many tag teams, I have a little bit more faith that this match is going to be good. I don't know how good it's going to be, though. I'm not sure what to expect from this. I do think because we've played up all this time that Copeland comes out, everybody sings his theme song, and then Christian just kind of comes out afterwards and is just like, "Oh, that was fun. You guys have fun. This is it. This is it, Tony Khan. In Toronto, this is the night. Evanescence, my last breath. Pay for the song. Do it, Tony Khan. This is the night."
Yo,
I think you might be right. You know,
I will lose it. Like I will lose by fucking like it will get so. I can't have a camera on me. I cannot. I could never do watch alongs. Right. Like I can't. Nobody needs to see that. Nobody.
That's what sells though, Lyric. That's what
sells. All of these reaction accounts are doing very well doing that.
Listen, here's the thing. Some people are really comfortable. I don't want y'all to know me like that. I think there's I have to somewhat portray a level of professionalism here. You don't need to know.
I mean, you don't.
Workings of my. Listen, guys, I'm a woman. You know, you get labeled really quickly. Eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard the type of. It's going to get really bad, guys. But
you have a prediction on who's winning?
Me? Probably the Toronto crew. Wouldn't be shocked. I mean, if FTR wins, I would assume like they're probably going to win the tag titles. If they actually do win.
It would be good heat though, man.
But like it would be really good heat. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anybody really cares who wins or not. I think this is really for the plot. This match was booked for the plot. This is aura farming. Get the people going at its finest. Tony Khan, buy the damn song.
Yeah, come on, man.
Buy the damn song.
Get it done, Tony. Get it done.
I do think also too, in the midst of this reunion run, it has been very lopsided towards, Cope with Metalingus and everything. And here's the thing, Christian Cage was here first, buddy. This was his domain first, okay? He was telling everybody that their daddies were dead long before, he came in, and Adam Copeland came in this company. Have some damn respect and buy that Evanescence.
Do it. Get it done, Tony. We ain't fucking about. All right? Otherwise, you're going to have to answer to Lyric on a media call at some point. Of course, you will be all right, so main event, Kyle the Proto Star. I was going to call him Kyle the Proto Star Fletcher, but the Proto Star. The TNT champion.
Say his full name.
The TNT champion, the Proto Star, Kyle Fletcher. He's challenging the AEW Men's World Champion, Hangman Adam Page.
Correct.
Any chance of a shock win here for Kyle Fletcher, or are we all locking in with the Cowboy? Because I think Kyle will have a great showing. I think this will be great for him and put him on that level of like the world title picture. But I don't see any chance of a shock here. I think Hangman's gonna get it done. Hangman will get it done.
I feel this is very much. This feels almost like a replay of the Forbidden Door main event from last year. Swerve and Ospreay. The Ospreay thinking like, I'm going to hold both belts and get too big for his britches. Swerve has to remind him like, hey, listen, like you're really good, like you're awesome, but you're not the world champ. But I think this is also going to follow that. Think about what that did for Ospreay. Think about what this is going to do for Kyle. And also too, not gonna lie, if they made Hangman fans suffer the way that they did for the years that they did just to end this reign for this long, buddy, eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard the type of crash out.
To be fair, I do think if Kyle won, it would be like a thing where he drops it back to Hangman pretty soon. If that was even what they did tomorrow, but I don't think it is anyway. So.
But like the type of crash out, you would see the female demo drop. Like I mean, so it would get really nasty. But I think Kyle's awesome. I think I'm so proud of him. Like as somebody who's been following him, like since Aussie Open. Before he became to AEW, like his trajectory in such a short amount of time. I think he gets the business. I think he understands wrestling. I think he understands his character. He understands, but he also understands, I think, his placement as it relates to everybody else. But I think like the cool thing about AEW right now is it seems like most of the top guys have like an understanding, like there is no such thing as it's going to be a one person who's a star above everybody. It's going to take, multiple guys kind of really working together, being at the top of their game. And so like, he's very knowledgeable that he wants to be a part of the puzzle that puts it all together. And so I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Hanger's night. Hanger's winning. I think Kyle is going to get a good match out of him tonight. Tomorrow night. Today's Friday. Sorry. But I do think like this isn't it. Like Fletcher is gonna move on and I have to assume coming out of this, God willing, there's gotta be something big planned for him for World's End. Like Chicago's kind of his adopted hometown at this point. He's here a lot. Of course, his girlfriend lives here. He's constantly on WGN. You gotta have something big for him planned for World's End.
I think Fletcher should probably, because I'm not even sure if like I'm trying to think like the world title's trajectory to this point. You assume if Ospreay's back and he wins next year at Wembley. I'm not sure where Fletcher ends up and all that. I would have him beat Takeshita for the unified title eventually down the line, because I think Takesha's going to be at Okada. And there's such a story there already too, like between those two. Like, yeah. But I mean, we wouldn't be there by World's End. But
I'm curious as to what happens with Takeshita, and of course, him being the G1 Climax winner. He's got a match coming up with Zach.
Oh, he's winning. Have you seen that poster?
Yes. It feels like he's winning. And that's where I'm going. If he does win and he's IWGP World Heavyweight Champion by the end of the year, is that a belt that Kyle eventually challenges for? Could that be the big match at World's End?
Somebody said he has to be working Kenny. I think I would be interested in that. I think like there's not too many guys left that I think that Kenny has to work one-on-one. I think that list is very short, but I do think he needs to work Swerve, and I think he needs to work Kyle in a really big match. I think and those should be prioritized within the next year. And I do think they do need to do another Ospreay match underneath the AEW banner. For sure. But I would be interested in that for sure.
I mean, selfishly, I do want that IWGP title match at World's End because I'll be there.
Well, World's End is going to be the C2 final.
Is it?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Because I still think they should do Okada Takeshita in the Dome. Or not, maybe not in the Dome, but in Japan, period. Like, I think it should be in Japan.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Are we getting AEW New Japan show during Wrestle Kingdom weekend again?
Hey, man, I believe that we should do Grand Slam Tokyo. I think that Grand Slam Tokyo, and even too, if you look at the calendar, because last year it did fall like it was like right on Dynamite, but it's like on a weekend, like it could be done, it's definitely doable. And I mean, no offense, actually no, all offense to America. All offense to the United States of America. This country doesn't deserve that match. I don't think this country deserves Okada versus Takeshita one-on-one. I'll be honest. I think that AEW should run. I think Korakuen might be a little bit too small, and somebody's probably already going to have it booked for that week. I think they should either do Ryogoku or the Budokan. Ryogoku or the Budokan. There's so much different stuff, and I think that gives some wiggle room for Shibata to be able to do some cool stuff. Like, that brother is starving to wrestle in Japan again. If you saw Takiya Mania.
I still think it is disgusting that we did not get a Shibata Goto match before Goto got injured, but
guess what? If we do, there might be time for Grand Slam Tokyo. There might be time. Listen, Tony Khan, just let me plan it. I promise. I don't really ask for too much, but Grand Slam Tokyo, just let me handle it. I'm even trying to get back to Japan for Tanahashi's retirement. If I managed to be there.
There we go. TK, lock it in, bro. Hit up Lyric. Send an email. Get your team. Get it done, bro. Get it done. But yeah,
get it done, man.
Go on. AEW All Out. Yeah, that's kind of weird. You guys got a lot of content out of us for that. Wrestle Palooza, just quickly run through it. Triple H said expect surprises. I can't trust him, bro. After that last shit he pulled with Brock Lesnar, I ain't trusting any sort of fucking bars like that, bro. Get the fuck out of here about the expect surprises. But anyway, that card is John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. He's going to be opening the show. We've got Io Shirai? Io Sky? Fucking, what year am I in, bro?
You wish.
What year am I in? Io Sky versus Stephanie Vicker for the vacant Women's World Championship. Mm-hmm. We have the Usos versus the Bronze. They may add Tiffany Stratton defending the world title against Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. And we have Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. I think they could potentially be a Drew upset in that, but not super likely. And of course, what most assume will be the main event, the match that has sold all the tickets for this show, the match that has drummed up all the interest in this show. AJ Lee returns to the ring for the first time in 10 years to tag team with her husband, CM Punk, to take on the huge star couple of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I guess, Phil, throw this at you. How are we feeling about, I guess, just the AJ Lee aspect of just kind of like her getting back in the ring again? Do you think how well do we think it's gonna go? You know,
Yeah, I think she's got a lot to prove going into this match because people have been kind of talking crazy on her name and saying like, "Oh, she was never this great wrestler." And I was like, "Yeah, well, that time period in women's wrestling in WWE, they didn't emphasize in ring.
Nobody got opportunity to be a great
No.
wrestler.
So I think this is a different situation. I think having a mixed tag match is probably gonna, alleviate some of the rust that we probably would see if it was just a one-on-one match. But I do think that her and Punk are gonna pick up the win here. They're clearly going to keep going with this Punk and Seth Rollins thing probably till the end of the year. But buddy, the idea of Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the IC title, I'm in for that. I think that's gonna be a good match.
big.
I think that's a good program, and I think that's a good way to continue the work that Becky has done with that belt all year.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. AJ versus Becky is definitely something that gets me
Are they
fired up,
doing
bro.
War Games this year?
They teased it, didn't they? Because on this homecoming episode of NXT, didn't Billy Regal come out and yell War Games at one point?
You did.
So
I mean, Triple H and Shawn Michaels were in the ring, but
yeah. I don't know does that mean we're getting NXT versus main roster? I don't know what we're doing with that, but there's definitely a tease of War Games.
I think it'd be really cool to get kind of like what they did with Trish, with being able to do a lot of this stuff that just wasn't around while,
Yeah.
Imagine AJ in War Games, a whole bunch of opportunities. She never really got to get, during that time of the women's division. That would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, huge show for WWE, of course. We're not going to unpack it. We definitely don't have the time for all that. We're already way over. Don't want to put Lyric through that either. So,
I mean, some of the matches look good.
We do these super chats.
Yeah,
they do. They do.
Like I said, I think EO.
I think EO versus Stephanie looks awesome. To the point to where I will probably find a pirate file later if it ends up being really great.
I hear it, man. I think the card in general is stacked. Like I said at the start of the show, man, I think the card in general is stacked. So obviously the Brock thing looms over it and it makes us feel a certain way about it. But as a show, if they just put this show out and it was like John versus fucking AJ Styles, like we all fucking wanted, imagine that. Like, this card would be godly, bro. But it's not. So
it's fine. I think they're gonna get the moments out of it, and it's gonna be what they want it to be for a debut on ESPN's new streaming platform. But yeah, Io versus Stephanie is the match I'm looking forward to. I'm very curious to see what they do with Drew. Drew needs this win. I don't think he's gonna get it though, but he does need this win because he's been just kind of floating ever since the CM Punk feud. And
I hear it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, let's do these super chats and we'll wrap up. So get me in last chance, last calls, people. Any questions about anything about the weekend, or I don't know if you want to ask me anything about Ibu's big announcement yesterday. I'm here. But Jar Flakes 199. Kane always be in London clubs. He's coming home. I do actually think there is something to Harry Kane returning to Tottenham one day. But we'll see, brother. Yes, it is.
Oh, football.
Yeah. Matthew, $5. Thoughts on that in the AEW TV landscape with all these potential mergers? It's hard to talk about the big TV business side of things because even whether it's waiting on AEW to get their new deal, whether it's the mergers, whether it's the stuff with WWE, it's like, bro, it's best to just, instead of us speculating and stuff, it's best to just kind of see how the pieces fall. You know? Because it's hard to say. Like, we could be like, oh, it's gonna hurt this and it's gonna do this, and it's like, bro, it could just be complete dead air in like a week. So
I will say though, WWE has expanded so much to where they have like pieces of their business in just about everywhere now, to where I would say there are very limited options for AEW to work with anywhere that's not affiliated with WWE. Any place like even like let's say like Paramount, let's say like if Warner Brother gets bought like Disney, like now this ESPN deal, like or something like that. Like, they really have kind of like split up like the WWE product, and its bits and pieces are here and everywhere. So that's
so I would assume that Matthew's talking about this news that Netflix is potentially buying Warner Brothers Discovery, and I don't know. I guess for me, like with the landscape of TV right now, it's a bit more worrying that all of these companies are getting together, and there's so much money behind certain entities that are moving kind of shady. If we are seeing how this Jimmy Kimmel thing went this week, and a lot of other troubling things that seem to be going. I don't know. It's worrying. I don't know. I don't really have much thoughts about the wrestling side of it, but it's just worrying that more and more big chips are being slid in front of some of these people that don't have the best interests in mind.
Yeah, wrestling is a microcosm of life, and so the competition or lack thereof that we see in wrestling is just literally like just a smaller version of what's happening in the world at full scale, and monopolization and like, trust reform. It's kind of terrifying actually. Most of this week, like really like wanting to hide under my bed. Everything's fine. Man, I don't know. Keep him in prayer. I don't know, or whatever you believe in. If you believe in anything at this point.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Lee run forward $5. Tony can't drop the title before she main events an AEW pay-per-view. That's the only thing that this run is missing, and if it doesn't happen, shame on Tony Khan. Hey man, I hear you, bro. Again, $5. Appreciate you again. Mercedes is Rev Pro creative is greater than her AEW creative. She's elevated the TBS title to the point it's the only women's title they sell, despite how popular Tony is.
It is something that has replicas.
That is true. I don't know much about the Rev Pro creative. I do think that a lot of her promos she cuts outside of AEW have been better. I don't think that her promos need to be as scripted, and I think that they need to get out of like this format of like, doing the contract signings and doing the celebration angles. Like just have her talk. It's fine.
Very formulaic. I also think though it's very easy, and I'm not trying to like stand up for AEW whatsoever here, but I do think like it's very easy for an independent promotion who literally Mercedes is easily head and shoulders the biggest star, like they're booking at any point in time, and they get her once every other month to be able to be like, okay, like let's make her the star of the show. Like, I mean, Mercedes is on one of the most stacked rosters of all time, and like it's a lot more complicated, I think, because I see that a lot. People are like, oh, Rev Pro creative is so much better. Her New Japan creative is so much better. Think about who else is on these cards. Like Mercedes, it's not even close. Like she can be the end all be all, because who else is going to do it? So yeah, it's a lot more complicated. But I do agree, like they need to get out of this formula for her stuff, because I think like she could do more.
Yeah, well said. Very well said. Leave on forward again, $5. TK has to change his approach onto how he books the women. He might be the only one who doesn't see what he has in Willow, Stat, and Megan. I've worried for like 2 years that Tony don't quite see Willow the way that we do, in the way that a lot of fans want to see Willow elevated. I've had that exact worry for like 2 years now, because to me, Willow's so like, oh my god, I can't get the world title on her soon enough. like she's one of those to me. Like she would be the most pushed person in the entire company, man or woman, to me. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, because I think so highly of her, I guess that's why I've felt like that for so long with Tony, because even though he's given things and he's given a new contract and he's given this and he's given that and she's had TBS run and she's done this and she's beat Mercedes, and it's like, you know, I feel like she's somebody that you literally can't push enough. Like,
you know, I think he does see her as a big star. I just don't think that he feels a sense of urgency around her. Like, I think what really showed me that was honestly with her being a part of like the men's world title angle earlier this year and World Anarchy in the Arena. I think he genuinely believes that he will always have time. Like, he will always have time, and he just thinks that like the priority is making sure Mercedes feels, you know, making sure Mercedes feels pushed to where she resigns, making sure Tony, you know, gets to where, you know, she wants to go, like he wants her to go. You know, I think and it's a sense of complacency, and I'm not saying that it's right, but I think that he feels like at this point, Willow's always going to be hot. I can wait, you know, because people are always going to be into her. And I do think like that is a very arrogant way of looking at things. Same thing I think with Chris Statlander, just like to have a talent come back from 2 ACL injuries and be probably the most dependable worker in the company. I think he just genuinely believes that with those two, he has all the time in the world. And like, you know, they seem like AEW lifers, you know, they're not the people that you really, or at least right now, he thinks like, you know, you don't have to really worry about them jumping ship. I think he just thinks he has all the time in the world. Now, Megan Bain, on the other hand, I genuinely don't know. I have no idea what he's doing. I don't know what he thinks. And she is one of those people to where if I was him, I'm just like, you have to believe that if she ever becomes like a free agent, she will get snatched in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
All three of them get
but
snapped
the thing is,
straight
I don't
away.
think she has the level of loyalty or time invested into the company that the other two do. You know, like
of course.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's more so what I'm saying. Like, she doesn't have like the sentimental attachment though, you know, that, you know, the others have. And so I just don't understand. Or maybe he feels similarly. Maybe he feels scared, you know, after the Mariah thing of like not wanting to give her too much in case she does jump ship one day. Who knows? That could be valid. But I don't think, has he given her a particularly big reason to stay? No. So it's
that's what I was gonna say.
Talent are going to leave, like, you know, that's going both directions, especially with women. There's not a lot of opportunity on either side, so you have to do what's best for you at the end of the day, whatever you think is work. But
absolutely,
at least try. Fuck.
Absolutely. I every time I see people say that online of if you give Megan too much too fast, she's just gonna leave like Mariah. You can't book that way, man. Like you cannot just like waste people's time, man. Like I think
you can't be that much of a pussy, bro. Like, that's just coolly what it is. You know what I mean?
You can't, man. Like,
you can't just not book people great because you think they might leave for WWE. Like, you can't book like that. And if Tony believed that Mariah was the right star for the right time to go in that program with Tony, I still stand by that he made the right decision to push her the way that she was pushed. It's not his fault that she has other aspirations and shit like that, and he shouldn't be kind of like slandered or criticized for getting a fucking talent as over as he did. Do you know what I mean? It's so backwards, bro. Like he's a booker, you know, like that. Like he's a booker, bro, and he booked a woman better than she's ever been booked before, and made her into a legitimate star to the point that WWE are probably paying her like anything between like $700K to $1 million or whatever, you know. So like. And yeah, it bit him. It did bite him. But I don't think he's like wrong for doing it. And if he did the same thing with Megan, and Megan decided in 18 months or 2 years' time that, yo, I want to be somewhere else, then it was like, you know, you've done it again. Do you know what I mean? You've made another star again, I guess. Like, there's always like silver linings and positives to it, you know?
I mean, you listen, I've seen a lot of that talk about how he don't make new stars over there. he's made some new stars that end up going elsewhere. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that literally. GMB 199. I think Dakota secretly retired, to be honest. Thoughts? Nah, she said she misses it and she wants to get back in there, bro.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
didn't see that, I get where you're coming from in it, because like it's gone a bit quiet and stuff, and like you see her do her streams and shit. Though. So like I get where you're coming from, because I think she doesn't really need to get back into wrestling. I think she would be fine on Twitch, honestly. But like
Yeah, she
yeah,
said that
she's
she wants to
really
wrestle
good,
again.
and yeah,
So
exactly. So
she'll be back.
and I think she's great. Dakota is. I think she's like the one, especially on the women's side of things. She's like the one free agent. I think that Tony should definitely pick up. So
That name is insane, bro.
it is, but like it's just one of them. But it used to be GMB Solar Monster. That's what it used to be. And then we never said it. It was the super chatter's name I'll never say. Do you know what I mean? And then we got Solar Monster on a show, and he super chatted in with that name, and it was like, alright, bro, I have to explain the law. Like, you have to explain the law to Jason, like, live on the stream. And I think around that time is when they changed it to GMB Montel, and I'll just call him GMB now. But yeah, it's a great. Yeah, you're right. Like, it's got to the point now where I just bring them up like they're a normal person anymore. It's just like it's been a while, bro. It's been like over a year, I think. But, Jar Flakes 199, Brendan Cabina as the Hurts in the Hurts in the. Alright, bro, whatever, man. That's the Black John Cena guy.
Oh my god, dude, come on.
Van Jiminator 499. I don't know if you guys have mentioned yet, but do you think OC comes back? I think he was going to come back in Philly because he's from there. I want him back as soon as possible, bro. So
I think he does. I mean, he's just as much been a part of this Death Rider story, as Darby, too. So yeah, I think that's cool. I would love to see him personally, and honestly, especially like if Chris does get involved, like that's a whole extra layer. Like
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Oh, Stat is joining the Death Riders, isn't she, bro?
Kind of
that
feels
is
like
happening. It's happening, bro. Like, it's okay.
Well, I don't know. I could go either way though, because again, if you announce these tag belts, I don't believe it, because I do think if you announce the tag belts, Willow and Statlander are going to be the first champions, if I had to guess.
They should, but I mean, also at the same time, they've waited so long to where I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like they've wasted everybody's time to the point to where like they've dragged out their story of. I'm not sure how you heat that back up. But I mean, hey, both of them, I think that they could do it. Fans
will react. So
fans still do react. Like it's just a whole bunch of ifs. Like I think that's what it really comes down to. It's a whole bunch of ifs and question marks. And until something substantially happens, it's really no telling.
Yeah, we'll see. Yuzura Hart, the last super chat. $5, massively appreciate you as always. Seeing 3 black content creators from different spaces on this channel has me smiling ear to ear. Never stop, Monty. Wrestle Purist is special to me and others. Well, obviously I massively appreciate that, and I guess kind of I don't know how to explain it. So obviously with Ibu's announcement like yesterday that he's going to be kind of stepping away from full-time Wrestle Purist, and we'll see what happens and blah 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 blah. Obviously. Ibu will still like show up on the channel and stuff. I just can't guarantee how often, and he's not going to be doing like his weekly Tuesday show and stuff. It's not going to be a thing where we never see him again. But obviously he's a busy guy and that, so we'll see what happens, how we play it and stuff. And I guess from your guys' points of view, like the audience is give me suggestions and stuff, man. I'm always open to suggestions. I've always been open to suggestions. And what this super chat says here is kind of it's a nice super chat to receive because of obvious reasons, but also it kind of highlights some of like my core goals of Wrestle Purists, of like having like a diverse cast, which I think we've always had. Like white, black, European. Fucking, we have people from all over the place. It's always been super diverse. I've always been super proud of that. But also kind of like the variety. So like he mentions in the super chat, like the different spaces. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, we're kind of in the same like circle on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Like in the same like wider community, but we've all got our own different spaces. And even like Ibu as well, like he has his own space now with the Self-Made and his own section of Twitter. And there's like Joe, he's got his own section and that as well. With you know, when we've had Andrew Baidala come on a few times as well, that's another completely different section as well. So it's always been like a variety, but having a variety of like good talents, if we call it talents, personalities, that can also kind of gel together, which I think is something that we've always tried to balance well. And yeah, I really appreciate kind of like the support you guys have given us over the years, especially you, Zora Hart, because I always see you in the live chat, I always see you super chats, and I always recognise your support. And when you say things like that, I do truly take it to heart and appreciate it. So if you guys have any suggestions on more personalities that you want to see, if you want to see more Lyric, if you want to see more Phil, if you want to see more Joe, if you want to see more of anything, or if there's new people you want me to try or people you want to give me a chance, give a chance to, then I'm happy to do that, because WrestlePalooza is kind of like one of those platforms where it's a bit of a melting pot, you know, and it's just kind of like when people like Ibu can go off and do different things, or whether that was the opportunity that he used to have on Fightful, it's like I'm really happy for him. You know, it's never a thing where it's like, oh my God, he's leaving me high and dry. Like, it's not a thing like that, you know. Like, I'm happy for him. He'll still be around. The guys will still be around. It's just that, like, the commitments are different now. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'll say about that. Sorry to kind of, like, waffle on a bit, but I do massively appreciate when, you know, people still, like, you know, keep going, you know, never stop, you know, and you're proud of kind of you're happy about like the way that we do things here, you know. So like I said, keep in the comments or something, do you know what I mean? We still got like 100 odd people in here. In the comments, what do you want to see Wrestle Purists doing moving forwards, if anything? Do you know what I mean? And obviously that's the sort of shit I'll be trying to work on for you guys. Of course, there's the announcement on Monday, so you know, if you're somebody that has supported us over the years, I would massively appreciate it if you could be there for that announcement on Monday, because it is very important. And of course, you know, I want the people who have supported us over the years to be there, because they just should be there, because it's important to me to make that announcement. So, and not just do a tweet or some shit, you know. So, yeah, man, I'll see you guys on, I think me and Joe are going to do something on Sunday. So, lock in for that. You'll get another Monty and Joe show. Phil, what you got going on this weekend? You moved Grapsody, didn't you, because of all the wrestling on tomorrow?
Yeah, we will be going up Sunday, noon Eastern, instead of Saturday. I was gonna say that gives me an excuse to not watch this Bears game, but I actually think it's a thing. So yeah, join us on Sunday live on Fightful's YouTube channel, noon Eastern time.
Good shit, man. Good shit. 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Grapsody with Phil and Reg. Lyric, you've got yours. Is your Statlander Part 2 came out today, or is it coming out now, or what's going on?
It came out a few hours ago, so that's up. It's already on my Twitter. So the takedown on SI for anybody who wants to go read that. The video interview is up on our YouTube. What else? We do the Dynamite Diaries every Wednesday. After Dynamite, me and Danny from Black Girl Wrestling. Some other stuff coming out soon, but I can't remember it right now. So I'll be honest. It's so much is happening so quickly these days to where I can't even keep up with it all. You just got to catch me when you can.
Someone said, who did Ibu punch backstage? Everyone's been saying that in a lot more mentions in the past couple of days. So, release the footage of Ibu punching someone backstage.
Release the Ibu
footage. Like, come on, man. Like, he's like I said, he's changing his commitments around, and you know, we've yeah, man. Ibu the free agent. You know what I mean? We're gonna be following his free agency. As long as he doesn't go like fucking ringside news on me or some shit, then you know what I mean. We're cool, bro. You know, we're locked in. So,
that'd be crazy.
The agendas that I would have to start if Ibu went full ringside news. Eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard. It'd be really nasty.
Sports key to Ibu. You know, like, it's just
Really
there's
not.
certain outlets where I'd be kind of I'd have to
Mhm.
have words. You know them
Sports
ones.
Keeda.
I'd have to
No,
have words
this
with him.
this sounds like Sean because we had Sean on our 200th episode, and he's just like, yeah, I've been pretty upset with you guys if a certain move happened, and he just blurts out on the air like, yeah, these guys they were in talks with Wrestle Inc. And I was like, I don't think people know that. Like, why are you saying that?
Really?
That was it. That was a thing at one point. There was an offer on the table. We didn't take it. But yeah, they were interested in. They're interested. Yeah.
Fairs.
Love media
Right
free
choice.
agency. Media free agency is so fun.
Bro, you're telling me? So we got Ibu, yeah, and how can I say this without giving anything that I can't say away? So I was talking to somebody. I've been talking and was talking to somebody in the space, recently, just about collaborating and stuff, and it's like they legitimately had like no compete clause, like a legitimate one. So this is Ibu doesn't have a no compete clause. So on October 13th, when he becomes a free agent, he will be free. He's free to do whatever the fuck he wants now. Do you know that ones? He don't have a contract, or he never has. It's just I guess we just called it a free agency or whatever because that's just, I guess it's the easiest way for our audience to see.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Ibby's always been able to do whatever the fuck he wants anyway. It's just that obviously now he can't make the commitments that our audience is so used to him making. So it's just best to do like an announcement about it, you know, and I'm sure he'll still be on the channel in some places and stuff. But anyway, we'll see. I'm waffling again. We've done the plugs. We've got a huge weekend tomorrow. We've gone way over time, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Massively appreciate the super chats and all your guys' support. For tuning in. So yeah, we will probably see you Sunday with myself and Joe. Appreciate you, Phil and Lyric, for hanging out and doing this again, man. I enjoy these shows, man. So hopefully we'll do it again soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, peace, guys. I know. Yeah, we'll see you Sunday.